in Gaza have been freed from Hamas. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
This is the first glimpse of freedom for the remaining Israeli hostages, released after enduring 2 long years in captivity. In a place that has been dubbed Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, jubilant crowds came together to celebrate.
President Trump was asked Sunday if he'd visit Gaza in the future, and he responded that he'd, quote, be proud to. Here, the Mariners won Game 1 of the AL Championship Series over the Toronto Blue Jays just 2 nights after Friday's 15-inning epic win.
And Randy is there to make the catch. The Mariners win it 3-1, and they take the opening game of this best-of-7 American League Championship Series north of the border here at Rogers Center in Toronto.
KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Otterly spent the evening at Victory Hall in Soto.
It's the moment M's fans have waited 24 years for.
I'm turning 34 this year, so being 10 the last time this happened, just insane.
The postseason energy uniting new fans. How long you been a Mariners fan?
For about 2 years.
With ones who have been around for decades.
I'm feeling the Soto mojo again. You know, I'm really hoping for that. And I was there in '95, and that was pretty exciting.
Then there are the future fans.
My wife is 36 weeks pregnant.
Jane Carmody's son will hopefully arrive just after a World Series win.
Now it's on to Game 2 at 2:03 this afternoon. Catch all the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. Pierce County deputies got into a shootout with a domestic violence suspect at a home in Puyallup South Hill on Sunday. KIRO News Radio's Tom Brock has more.
It started with reports of gunfire, a 45-year-old suspect firing shots and threatening 3 others at a home about a mile south of Puyallup's South Hill Mall.
There was a woman and 2 children inside of a home that had fled the home out of a back window.
Pierce County Sheriff's spokesperson Carly Capetto says the 45-year-old woman was slightly hurt. The children were 2 teenage girls. When deputies arrived, there was another exchange of gunfire. At least 1 deputy fired. The suspect suffered non-life-threatening injuries. After he is released from the hospital, he'll be booked into jail. Tom Brock, KIRO News Radio.
In Parkland, deputies are investigating a man's murder apparently by his own son. Officers arrived just after 8 on Friday night, about a block north of the Sprinkler Recreation Center. They say it appears a 41-year-old man shot his 63-year-old father. Deputies got the dad outside and tried giving him life-saving aid, but he died from his injuries. The son barricaded himself inside a bedroom. Deputy Carly Capetto.
After about 20 minutes of negotiating with the suspect, the son did come out of the bedroom and was taken into custody.
Investigators say the son appears to be suffering from a mental health problem. Over in Thurston County, a scuffle with a violent inmate at the jail ended with several corrections officers getting hurt. One officer suffered a twisted knee, another chipped a tooth. It happened early yesterday morning when a 26-year-old domestic violence suspect put a fellow inmate in a chokehold and refused to let go. Several officers intervened, and that led out to an all-out fight and several injured guards. The suspect was also hospitalized with a black eye. Once released, he'll be rebooked into jail with an additional assault charge. 2 brothers in West Florida are being called heroes for alerting the FBI about an attack planned at a Tri-Cities high school. The Tri-City Herald reports a 12-year-old looking at videos on TikTok showed his older brother a 5-second clip that had color-coded maps, targets, and exits at Kamiak High School posted by a 14-year-old freshman at the school. About 24 hours later, the FBI arrested him, seized 24 guns, and confiscated computers and documents. The FBI says the brothers' actions are what led everyone to safety. And now for your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Some drive times right now. Everett to Seattle, about 27 minutes right now. Puyallup to Renton, about 24 minutes. And Linwood to Seattle, about 15 right now. For your forecast on this Monday morning, we've got pockets of showers in the South Sound with some breezy to windy weather moving over to the north interior. Showers will decrease with sunshine later today. Highs will be close to 60. Right now, it's about 44 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, why siblings clash and what it really means. More on that story next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You've been hearing me rave about my experiences with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Well, you won't believe what Integrity is doing in October. They're giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. Do you know a deserving family who could benefit from a free roof? Then visit IntegrityRC.com, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone today. What an incredible opportunity to help someone upgrade and protect their home. Go to IntegrityRC.com now, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone in need. IntegrityRC.com, because doing the right thing matters.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
The sibling rivalry isn't just about fighting over toys or who gets the front seat. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard is here to explain.
Hi, guys. This is not your typical how to stop the fighting advice. Dr. Becky, the clinical psychologist behind the Good Inside YouTube series, says sibling rivalry isn't necessarily a problem. It's a training ground for lifelong relationship skills. First, let's understand how and why adding a new sibling can turn your firstborn's world upside down.
So imagine you come home. For me, I would come home to my husband, and this is what he says to me. Becky, I have amazing news to share with you, okay? I'm getting a second wife. Okay, you're going to be big wife, and she's going to be little wife, and you guys are going to be best friends, and it's going to be amazing, and we're going to be one big, happy family.
So regardless if you're a wife, husband, or partner, you may feel like, who is this person? And I'm supposed to accept their existence with a smile? Well, that is what it can feel like for a child to welcome a new sibling. So now let's talk about what sibling rivalry is really about.
So often when our kids are kind of doubting their place in the family or feeling not as confident as they want to, or maybe feeling a little disconnected from us, their sibling starts to look like their enemy, not their teammate.
Let's say your kids are arguing about who's holding the remote control, or very common in my family right now, who gets to choose the songs during our car rides. Dr. Becky says the fastest thing to do is to resolve the conflict for them.
But if that's always what's happening, we are actually locking ourselves into a job we don't want.
So she invites parents to work themselves out of the job of conflict resolution on behalf of their kids.
When our kids are in their 20s and 30s and one of them gets married, and one of them is having a successful career, and one of them has some very big house, and the other one doesn't have those things, you know what's going to happen? There's going to be jealousy. There's going to be hurt feelings. There's going to be discomfort. And if all we're trying to do when our kids are younger is kind of optimize for peace all the time, they're actually not going to have the skills they need to negotiate even bigger sibling issues when they're older.
Her advice, the single biggest thing kids need to get along with their siblings is more one-on-one time with their parents. When your kids are arguing, she says, it's not a sign they're never going to be close. It's not a sign you're a failure as a parent. It's just an opportunity for you to teach them skills so they can draw on them when they're older.
That all made perfect sense. I really like her description at the beginning.
Yeah, I think it just puts us in the right frame of mind for like what it's like for a child to be like, huh? Who are you? You're here now?
I'm guessing, David, you're one of how many?
I'm the youngest of 7, and that's very important because I also feel like the order matters a lot. The oldest has a lot of responsibility. The youngest is, I don't know, I did feel like I was kind of constantly babied, not taken seriously. These are things that, Katrina, like you said, kind of impact you later on. Me and my closest sibling, my just elder brother, we still are kind of struggling with the jealousy thing, who has what, so it's an ongoing thing, and it's, just got to have that open line of communication with your siblings. But it does start young. It starts when you're kiddos and kind of how you're trained as from your parents.
It's true, though. Even though you're having conflict with one of your siblings at this age, you still know how to figure it out.
Yes.
You don't need to call mom or dad.
No, certainly not. No, and that's not their job anymore. Yeah. But it is really funny how much the way you interact with your siblings kind of impacts you for the rest of your life.
Katrina, I love your parenting segments. I really do.
Thank you.
I learn a lot every time. Thanks.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, we've got some pockets of showers this morning over the South Sound. Showers will decrease with some sunshine later today and the next few days. Highs will be close to 60. Right now, it's a little cool, 44 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, Consumer Man Herb Weisbaum on the latest trending scam that you don't want to fall for. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
If you use the SR 167 Express toll lanes after October 20th without a Good To Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. A Good To Go pass saves $2 on every toll. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but donated orthodontic services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
The G and Ursula Show.
If you want to see what I'm wearing today, check out Mrs. Roper.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
A moo-moo is like a bank. You never know how much is in it.
On KIRO News Radio and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th, new Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, "Buy low, sell high." There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Kids are full of energy, but keeping them active in their teen years can be a challenge. Aim for an hour of physical activity every day. If they like sports, that's a great place to start. Keep the focus on fun, not winning, and encourage your child to do a variety of activities. If your child isn't meeting that 60-minute goal, gradually increase their activity in ways they enjoy. For more, talk with your pediatrician or visit healthychildren.org.
Hey, it's John Curley with Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. Doc, I heard that 50% of Americans have their lenses replaced by the time they're 75.
That's exactly right, John. As we near 50, our eye's natural lens starts to become dysfunctional. If you've now added readers to your need for glasses and contacts, it's a sign the quality and function of your natural lens is fading, and it's a steady decline towards cataracts.
Don't go another 20-plus years with poor vision, hassling with contacts and readers. Do what I did. Choose a quick, painless refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE and start enjoying great vision now.
Our new lens technology is truly amazing. After replacing over 100,000 lenses, we have the experience to guide each patient to their best solution, even if that's recommending you wait a little while before RLE.
K2 Vision RLE can restore distance and near vision permanently, plus never develop a cataract. Read the reviews and schedule a free Zoom consultation now at k2visionrle.com.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at progressive.com.
DC politicians want to enact harmful credit card mandates that could take away your cash back and rewards points. Perks that stretch your budget and make life a little easier. Losing these benefits means less money for your family's everyday essentials like gas and groceries. The perks you rely on could disappear, leaving you with higher costs and fewer options. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. The final living 20 Israeli hostages are back home after being released by Hamas. President Trump is addressing Israel's parliament, and he called today a historic dawn for a new Middle East and said it was a miracle.
You are safer today, stronger today, and more respected today than at any time in the history of Israel. Think of it.
CBS's Deborah Patta reports from Tel Aviv.
The ceasefire deal is a lifeline for Gaza. Desperately needed aid can finally flow into the territory to help ease the dire humanitarian crisis. Days on from the start of the ceasefire, Gazans, deprived of basic necessities for so long, they are battling for every scrap.
It's day 13 of the government shutdown, and the Senate remains in recess for the federal holiday today. They will turn tomorrow, but as CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports, there's no sign they'll reach an agreement to reopen the government.
As a dispute over health care subsidies rages on, the impacts are rippling across the country. More than 4,000 federal workers were sent termination notices last week, and hundreds of thousands, like Seton Parsons, have been furloughed. He was volunteering at a food pantry over the weekend while facing a squeeze himself.
Definitely lots of budget bites and cooking for yourself at home.
Speaking to the press, President Trump again threatened to end some government programs if the shutdown continues. The president has also said that layoffs will target federal employees for programs favored by Democrats. The Seattle Mariners led the American League Championship Series with a 3-1 win over the Toronto Blue Jays last night. Fans gathered at Soto's Victory Hall to watch the game and tell KIRO 7 TV.
We haven't done this since I was 2001, 21, 22 years old, and I mean, this is... It's crazy.
Now it's on to Game 2 at 2:03 today. Catch all the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports. And the end of Game 5 against the Tigers literally shook T-Mobile Park. KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas explains.
It registered the same levels as a small earthquake. Harold Tobin with the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network installed a seismometer. Down at T-Mobile, the signal spiking all throughout the game, but the biggest peak after Jorge Polanco's game-winning, series-clinching walk-off hit.
The biggest one spike we've got on here is kind of a similar value to the biggest spike in the Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift thing just goes on through every song, all through the whole concert.
That seismometer will be at T-Mobile for the next home games. That's Wednesday, Thursday, potentially even Friday if we make it that far.
And the Seahawks improved to a 4-2 schedule after a big win on the road in Jacksonville against the Jaguars.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly. JSN is out there. JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks! A spike in the end zone and a 61-yard rocket to number 11. JSN puts 6 more on the board for the Hawks.
The Hawks beat the Jags 20-12. They now prepare for a big Monday Night Football matchup against the Houston Texans back at Lumen Field. That game is next Monday, October 20th at 7 p.m. Now to your KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle right now, about 28 minutes. Puyallup to Renton, about 21 minutes. Everett to Bellevue, 18. Marysville to Seattle, about 35. And for your forecast, we've got some pockets of showers across the South Sound. Showers will decrease with increasing sunshine today and for the next few days. Highs will be close to 60. Right now, it's about 45 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News. Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Identity thieves have found a new way to steal your sensitive personal and financial information by calling with an update about your loan, a loan you never applied for. Consumer man Herb Weisbaum, a contributing editor at checkbook.org, is here with us to explain how this phone scam works. But first, why the fancy jacket on a Friday, Herb?
Mariners fever. What can I tell you?
All right, tell us more about this scam.
We all celebrate in our different ways. This con, Amanda, starts with a robocall. And the person calling is various names. It could be Evelyn or Mark or Jason or Veronica. And they claim to be calling from a fictitious lending company with a made-up name such as Union Funding or Lending Union or Nationwide Lending Service. And while the names may differ, the message is always the same. Your loan has been approved, but your application is about to expire. Take a listen.
Hi, this is Mark from the Business Lending Division. You were referred to us a while ago, and I've been reviewing your file. It looks like you're still in good standing for up to $180,000 in line of credit for your business. We just need to confirm a couple of quick things, mainly updated revenue, and once that's done, funding could be out within a few days.
All right, Herb, what is going on here? Why call people who didn't apply for a loan in the first place?
And by the way, as you may have noticed, Amanda, that these are convincing sounding messages. It's very friendly people trying to help you. I don't know if the real people are AI generated voices, but it's really good. What's going on here is that even though you didn't apply for a loan, they're hoping you might respond in some way. Scammers are always looking for a way to engage with potential victims. And here's one way: to call you up and tell you about a loan, $150,000, $180,000 that you didn't apply for, but you might be curious what's going on. Is there some free money going around here? Something like that. So it's friendly, it's casual. It sounds like you have a relationship with them. Maybe you'll either push the button and be connected to a live person if you take the call live, or maybe you'll be willing to call back if you take it as a message. That's what's the goal here, is because once they get you to engage, they're going to try to steal your banking information and your personal information, such as your social security number, so they can commit identity theft down the road.
I will say in probably the past 2 or 3 weeks, I receive at least 2 of these a day. And this is happening across the country, right?
Yeah, this is being reported across the country by both the Better Business Bureau and the Federal Trade Commission. These things come in waves. Everyone I know has gotten these. Some people have reported getting 5 to 20 a day, which is just unbelievable how they're blasting these things out. You know, all they need to do is confirm a couple of quick things. And if you fall for that, then you'll be giving them your personal information. So don't do it no matter how many times they call.
What do? Just delete and report junk?
Well, yeah. Whenever you get a call from a number that's unknown, don't answer it right away. Let it go to voicemail. And then you have the time to think about whether you really want to deal with it or not. If you get one about these loan applications, do not engage with it in any way. Don't hit the number, hit 7, and you'll be on our do not call list. They don't have a do not call list. They're already breaking the law by making these robocalls, so you don't want to do that. And finally is check it out before you do any kind of thing. You can load online. You can call the AARP Fraud Watch Network if you're not sure. They have a toll-free phone number that people can talk to, but just don't engage with those folks. They are trained to try to get your information.
All right, Herb, we are out of time. Where can we read more?
All this is on checkbook.org, so I hope you check it out.
Consumer man Herb Weisbaum, contributing editor at checkbook.org.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
That sensation we're all feeling right now?
It's the playoffs, man.
That's playoff fever.
Mariners are good. They're going to win at home, and then we all won.
Yes. They're the talk of the town.
So excited I can hardly stand it.
KIRO News Radio has all the Mariners buzz.
Some of us even ate dirt.
Some of us
try to sway the outcome.
And our partner Seattle Sports has the games.
A winning solution. Hearing Rick call
You're gonna wanna hear
home run. You talk about a no-doubter.
Listen free on the Seattle Sports app.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things will change after October 20th, and some things won't. If you ride without a Good to Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. Having Good to Go means it'll cost less than pay by mail. Not a change. Carpoolers will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. A Good to Go pass saves you $2 on every toll. no change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
It's about grit.
Leonard Williams drags him down.
Running through whatever gets in your way.
The handoff to Charbonnet. Stiff arms a man, turns, first down. Oh my goodness! What a blast!
Fighting for every yard.
The handoff to Walker. He breaks a tackle, comes back to the near side, stumbles across the 10, breaks the tackle. Touchdown! Seahawks!
And a drive that never ends. Celebrating 50 seasons of Seahawks football. Visit Seahawks.com/tickets today.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel you attract people who tend to be compulsive or abusive?
Do you have money problems because of someone else's drinking?
Are you afraid or embarrassed to bring your friends home?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
More than half of all adults have a family history of alcoholism.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. You know what's stressful? A leaky roof, because you typically don't find out it's leaking until water makes its way through the insulation. The drywall in your ceiling starts swelling up, sags and drips. Then you're freaked out, wondering if there's mold in your house. I get it. That's why I get Valentine Roofing. Valentine has a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. Because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes. And they start protecting yours the moment you call. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in your living room. The wet weather is coming, so if you need to take advantage of that free roof inspection, I encourage you to call and get the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof backed by a lifetime warranty. And now with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. Stop the leaks before they start. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
Cancer impacts so many families, including mine. Former Washington Husky Mario Bailey here. My mother was treated for cancer at UW Medicine. As devastating as cancer is, there is hope because the Cancer Vaccine Institute is developing vaccines to treat and prevent the deadliest cancers. Patients who received vaccines over 20 years ago are still alive today. Please join me and make a donation to the Cancer Vaccine Institute at local Safeway stores. Learn more at uwcvi.org.
Spike O'Neill here. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens gave me back the perfect vision I had up until a few years ago. Now, never need glasses again. Never develop cataracts. Been about 6 months since my RLE surgery. My vision is better than it's ever been in my life. Sharp Vision Modern LASIK and Lens, privately owned, no corporate shareholders or boardrooms. Dr. Sharp built his business on the principle of always strive to overaccomplish, never overprice. Call 425-451-2020 or go online to sharp-vision.com. That's sharp-vision.com. Official eye care providers of Sounders FC.
CBS News Special Report. This is what it sounded like as family members spoke with one of the 20 living, now former hostages released by Hamas overnight.
Yeah, he looks like himself. He looks like maybe tired, maybe like overwhelmed.
Tens of thousands of people are in Tel Aviv's Hostage Square, and every time there's news about the former hostages, they're cheering, but they're also cheering for President Trump. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
President Trump will address Israel's parliament shortly. Many attending the speech are donning red hats, similar to his Make America Great Again hats. But these say Trump, the peace president.
Egypt has just confirmed that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will attend a summit today on Gaza's future. Once again, Hamas has released the 20 remaining living hostages who are now in Israel and at or on their way to 3 hospitals in the Tel Aviv area for medical exams and treatment. CBS News Special Report. I'm Peter King.
For your KIRO Newsradio forecast, we've got some pockets of showers this morning in the South Sound with some breezy to windy weather over the north interior. Showers will decrease with increasing sunshine today and for the next few days. Highs today will be close to 60. Right now, it's about 45 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, City Council member of Seattle, Bob Kettle, on the local impact of the government shutdown. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Hey, quick heads up. If your building's over 20,000 square feet, Washington's Clean Buildings Law means you may need to meet new energy standards starting July of 2026. Luckily, Puget Sound Energy has this free program called the Clean Buildings Accelerator that makes it way easier to comply with the Clean Buildings Performance Standard. They walk you through the steps, help track your energy use, even give you plan templates. I signed up. It's simple, and it's saving me money already. Check it out at psc.com/clean buildings.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation with exciting news. We now offer K-Guard Gutter System. Say goodbye to clogged gutters and hello to less maintenance. These top-of-the-line guards are exclusively available only at Guardian. K-Guard is designed to keep debris out, and their durability means they look great year-round without rusting or warping. Ready for hassle-free gutters? Protect your home with Guardian. To learn more about Guardian's exclusive K-Guard gutter system, call today or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, a government shutdown, a battle over National Guard troops in our neighboring city of Portland, as Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell signs an executive order protecting communities in the city from what he calls unlawful federal troop deployment. That order signed alongside members of the Seattle City Council, including Councilmember Bob Kettle, who joins us once again here on Seattle's Morning News. Good morning, Councilmember Kettle.
Good morning, and good to see you again.
Nice to have you with us. Let's start with the executive order from the mayor. What all is included in it, and how's the City Council involved?
I have them both actually with me right now I know we're on radio, but for those on YouTube, I do have them right in front of me. And basically it's about organizing our city, and doing due diligence. And, as I used to say, contingency planning, con planning. There's really two parts. One is related to the immigrant and refugee community. And then the second one is related to the National Guard. And that's one that, both of them, we're going to be overall as a council engaging with, but from a public safety side, like the area that I work, I'll be working those pieces specifically.
Can you give any more details?
Well, part of this is organizing, basically getting the word out to the communities that are involved in terms of immigration and refugee communities. So part of that is the engagement, know your rights and all those pieces. And then there's a second piece related to, federal law enforcement and how to engage with federal law enforcement, how to deconflict and so forth. The hard part here is that there's been basically zero communication from the federal government, and that makes it harder. And I suspect there will be no communication if indeed, there was to be some increased federal law enforcement or National Guard action here in Seattle.
What do you make of the president saying things like Seattle and Portland are cities on fire and a disaster?
Well, I've got three main things, and this is one of them. Basically, we're being gaslit. 2003, 2004, I lived in Baghdad. I understand where war zone is, with the mortars coming in and artillery shells and, VBIDs and the like, explosions all the time. That's not what we have here. Do we have our challenges in public safety with disorder and the like? Yes. But basically it's gaslighting, and it's frustrating because we are taking such strong actions here in Seattle. I have a list in front of me that, we're nearly 30 pieces of legislation related to public safety. We're really changing the dynamic. We're increasing the staffing of the Seattle Police Department. We're out from the consent decree, which shows the work that was done there. So we're taking all these actions that are basically put us on the right path compared to where we were 5 years ago and the poor decisions that were made in the city at that time. And so, part of me feels like, hey, we're moving in this new direction. we have the issues from our past, but then I'm getting it from the right too, from the federal government, which is really unfortunate because at the end of the day, I think it's gaslighting.
We know the Seattle Police Department has been stretched very thin over the past several years. What is staffing like at this point?
Well, it's improving. We're net. We're going to be over 100 net by the end of the year. And so it's improving. And what it allows for, by the way, Amanda, is that we now have a second bike team in Belltown. So that goes to the points. We have these areas of disorder. And so we're working with West Precinct, for example. I engage on behalf of my constituents, but also as the committee chair. And so we're bringing these new officers on board. And that over time allows different things like bringing a second bike team. And that's really important in terms of engaging the drug market. So that's where it's making a difference in terms of, how we've been and where we're moving towards as a city.
There are some people who say crime is out of control in Seattle. Wouldn't federal troops help? Is there any circumstance under which you would back that up?
Two things on this point, Amanda. One is if you're going to get federal law enforcement support, we need DEA. We need the Drug Enforcement Agency. We need ATF, the Agency for Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. That's what we need. We need the FBI. And what we need is intersecting, the guns and the drugs that are coming up the I-5 corridor across state lines or across 90 and the like. These are the things that we need from the federal government. And when it comes to the National Guard, and this is quite personal to me, the military is for our nation. It is for red, white, and blue America. And when it's being used in essentially a partisan way, because we are being gaslit, partisan way, what that means is it's being kind of co-opted into a political, and essentially a performative way. And so, but our military is not for red state America or red county America. It's not for blue state America or blue county America. It's for the red, white, and blue of America. And if we undercut that idea by employing it in such a manner, that's going to have negative consequences long term. And as a veteran, that's very, very concerning to me.
Talking with Seattle City Council member Bob Kettle, I want to switch gears and talk about the government shutdown. Lawmakers in D.C., no one's budging on talks to fund the government. How is this affecting the city of Seattle now?
Well, it's going to start affecting, for one thing, let's start with the federal employees. These people work hard across the board. It's not just the Jackson building. I recently got my passport renewed. There's that there on Fifth Avenue. So there's those people, and they've lost they're basically furloughed and potentially may lose their jobs. So that has an impact in terms of traffic downtown, spending downtown. You have all those pieces. And then one of the big areas is in terms of travel. For Seattleites who want to go somewhere with the shutdown, that impacts what's happening with TSA and our air system and air traffic system. And so, that is really important for us in terms of, the impacts that separately there's other areas too, but those are two, good examples.
Is there something the council can actually do to help prevent some of that fallout?
Well, we are, as part of the budget process, we have our new B&O tax, which does have an element of basically creating a fund to backstop any federal shortfalls. And the way I look at that could be in terms of, FEMA. People don't think about it, but we get a lot of grants from FEMA. And if this gets shut down, and with the actions of the federal government, we may lose all that funding. So we have backstops for that, but it's also for the human services side, for different food programs and housing programs. Housing is another area where, there's different monies that come through. And if that gets cut, that's going to have a major impact us on long term in terms of the combination of the shutdown plus actions being taken before and after and during, and maybe taking advantage of the shutdown as well.
All right. Just about out of time, but two more things. One, kudos for being prepared with your documents to be shown on YouTube, because not everyone knows that we do the show live on YouTube too. So good job. And go Mariners. We really appreciate your time as always. Come back anytime, okay?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to the issues.
All right. Councilmember Bob Kettle, we appreciate it.
For your KIRO Newsradio forecast, pockets of showers this morning in the South Sound with some breezy to windy weather over the north interior. Showers will decrease with increasing sunshine today, and for the next few days, highs will be close to 60 this afternoon. Right now, it's about 45 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top stories here on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
Is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube.
You can count on the Seattle Times for trusted local news and information. The Seattle Times is one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country right here in the Pacific Northwest. Take a closer look with the Seattle Times. Dig into investigative journalism that holds those in power accountable. Discover a new perspective. Gain a deeper understanding. Learn something new about where we live. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Hey, Brock Ewart here. It's such a joy for me to be joined by Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, I've heard so much about traveling physical therapists. What's that mean to you and IRG?
That's a great question, Brock. Traveling physical therapy right now, I think, is a fad, and a lot of young therapists are doing it, but they're missing opportunities that we provide here at IRG. And those things we provide at IRG are really important, and that's being part of a team and treating patients, building relationships, engaging with our community. That is so important. The other thing is they're not getting paid time off. A crew are paid time off, and they do not get continuing education, professional growth, and that is so important as a young therapist to have access to professional growth. The other thing is we have an enhanced compensation program here at IRG that our physical therapists, our occupational therapists can increase their earnings by engagement, outcomes, and intervention. That's what we're all about. We're about building a great culture for young therapists and all clinicians to work here.
Openings across the whole company. Head over to irgpt.com/careers, irgpt.com/careers.
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Looking for even more Seahawks content? Subscribe to The Reset, the podcast with me, G. Scott, and Seahawks great Brandon Mebane. New episodes are out every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or subscribe on the Seattle Sports app.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Tired of uneven home heating and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. All eyes were on President Trump after all 20 living hostages were returned to Israel this morning, and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners were released from Israeli jails and taken to Gaza as part of Mr. Trump's ceasefire plan. CBS's Stacey Lynn monitored his speech to the Israeli Knesset.
A long and painful nightmare is finally over.
The well over an hour-long speech served as his victory lap for orchestrating the peace plan.
It's an incredible triumph for Israel and the world to have all of these nations working together.
Bringing home the hostages.
Against all odds, we have done the impossible and brought our hostages home.
And hopefully bringing peace to the entire Middle East.
Palestinians have hopes their lives will improve. Correspondent Deborah Patta.
The ceasefire deal is a lifeline for Gaza. Desperately needed aid can finally flow into the territory to help ease the dire humanitarian crisis. Days on from the start of the ceasefire, Gazans, deprived of basic necessities for so long, they are battling for every scrap.
A hostage group says the bodies of 4 of the remaining 28 dead Israeli hostages will be returned Monday. In the U.S., the Senate returns tomorrow to try to break the deadlock over a spending plan and end the government shutdown. It's day 13, and making ends meet is getting tougher for furloughed employees. Here's Torian Small.
Affected TSA agents, FAA agents, members of the Border Control, and military people. President Trump recently said that he has directed his Department of Defense secretary to redirect funds in order to pay troops.
A nor'easter tearing up the East Coast right now. Flooding's washed over a huge portion of the Virginia coastline. Both New Jersey and New York are under states of emergency. This woman in New York City.
I literally went food shopping and I came back in a taxi and there was a tree on my car.
Police in South Carolina are still looking for suspects after a mass shooting at a bar near the Georgia state line. WSCS TV's Caroline Spikes.
The shooting happened at Willie's Bar and Grill on St. Helena Island. Hundreds were reportedly there, including a 2002 high school class reunion group. 4 victims were pronounced dead at the scene, while 4 others were taken to an area hospital to be treated for critical injuries.
A word on a motive. This is CBS News.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
It's 6:03 Monday morning. Let's check in with Sully at the traffic desk.
And we're starting this week off with a crash up in the Mill Creek area on southbound I-5. Right lane is blocked there, right where we have the normal weaving and merging coming off of 164th. So plan on about a 10-minute delay already through the area. Close to 45 minutes to go from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The Bellevue Drive is caught up in that because you have to get there before you get down to 405. So plan on some delays there. Positive news for those of you on northbound 167. We do have a second lane open now through that bridge strike area in Pacific. Just go slow through the area. The speed limit's been reduced to 45 miles an hour. Trucks have to use the right lane there. We're looking at about a 45-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton, maybe a little under. So about 8 minutes slower than you might expect at this time of day. And then Renton to Bellevue's under 20. Olympia to Tacoma is about 35 minutes. And Federal Way to Seattle's at about 40. So all in all, we're not in that bad a shape. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Lake Washington Windows has been voted best in the Northwest. Celebrate, save 25% off new windows through October. Defer payments for the next 12 months.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. Thanks for joining us today, and we begin with breaking news.
An ammonia leak at the Scowler facility in Burlington has prompted a shelter-in-place advisory for nearby residents. Fire crews responded late last night to a chemical odor linked to a refrigeration unit.
Now, this site contains an 8,600-pound ammonia tank, but it's unclear how much ammonia has been released. Residents within a half-mile radius are urged to stay indoors, close their windows, and turn off their HVAC systems. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we learn more.
Right now, let's talk about the Mariners. The pitching staff was nearly untouchable last night, led by Big Tech's Bryce Miller's dominant start.
Now all eyes turn to Game 2 against the Blue Jays as the ALCS continues later today, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the story.
Man, does it feel like it's all happening like way too quickly?
That was a lot over the weekend.
I mean, we're all still processing Friday, the big win over the Detroit Tigers.
The 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. The Mariners win the battle.
We got one day off as fans, and then we had to, after that roller coaster of a game, we had to watch last night's huge win, Game 1 of the championship series. First, George Springer launched Bryce Miller's first pitch of the night for a home run. Then Cal tied it up in the 5th.
The 2-2 to Cal. Swung on, blasted, right field. This is gonna go. It is gone.
And of course, the very next inning, Jorge Polanco with the base hit to take the lead. Game 2 is in Toronto. First pitch is 2:03 today. Dead smack in the middle of the afternoon. Games 3, 4, and 5. We're not going to need Game 5, of course. If they're going to be right here in Seattle, if you're thinking about tickets anyway. But this is how a lot of us feel right now. Are you all exhausted?
Yes.
Exhausted, overjoyed, and the thing I have been enjoying more than anything, and producer David, you have been doing the same thing, you got to turn off the national broadcast. And just I've perfected it now, Luke, where I have Rick and Gary Hill Jr., you just take your Alexa or whatever you have out, and then you just sync it up with the TV feed, and it is so good listening to people who are actually fans of the team.
All due respect to the Fox folks. You know, they're obviously professionals for a reason, but we've been following this team with Rick, Aaron the whole time. Like, we got to stay with them.
Totally. So how much of a pause are we talking about here?
Well,
so
I've got I have it down to a science. I have it perfectly synced up. You just have to hit pause a couple times. Maybe I'll do an explainer sometime during the show how to do this.
I would do that. Look, we got some hits coming up in the morning as well. Hey, plenty of Mariner watch parties. Let's just talk about these real fast. I'm going to get a list of restaurants and bars up on mynorthwest.com like I did last week. Victory Hall, which is across from T-Mobile Park, they're going to host a watch party today. Admission is free. They got a huge screen TV, food, wine, beer, prize giveaways. Mariner Moose is going to be there. Humpy is going to be there as well. Humpy winning their first ever time in the salmon race last week.
All right, Luke, thank you. It is 6:07 here on Seattle's Morning News. City of Everett may be about to expand its stay out of drug area zones. Since 2007, Everett has made it illegal for anyone convicted of drug crimes to enter a designated keep out zone or areas of suspected drug activity. Everett Herald reports a new zone would be established between 36th and Pacific Avenue, just south of downtown. In the last 2 years, there have been 37 suspected overdoses, 66 drug-related deaths there. The city council will vote on the expansion October 22nd.
Boy, did you get stuck in any of that weather yesterday?
I was driving on the Narrows Bridge with my travel trailer.
Oh, my
goodness. That was a lot of fun.
No, it just came out of nowhere. But strong winds tore through Longview yesterday afternoon, too. The National Weather Service says it might have been a tornado. A meteorologist in Portland says someone spotted rotation in the clouds. This was just before the strong winds hit about 3:13 in the afternoon. According to the Oregonian, 3 buildings were significantly damaged. Crews are going to have to do an official storm survey to know if it really was a tornado.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
We go the stretch. Kinley has got to throw a strike. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single. And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. The Mariners win the battle in Seattle in 15 innings. The Mariners win it 3
Oh, my God.
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for you if you were listening to the national broadcast and not hearing Rick lose his ever-loving mind. It was chilling listening on Friday night. I got chills this morning.
Oh, I mean, totally. I have tears again. It's so funny because you weren't here on Friday, but both G and Dave were saying we really need a new classic highlight. We're done with 95. It's time for something new.
Yeah.
I'd say we got it.
Yes.
Indeed we
so
did.
far. I mean, let's...
Well, that epic game
even
on
more
Friday.
to come, hopefully.
Yeah, that
All
call
right.
on Friday was awesome.
Nick, you were out in the stadium. What was it like Friday night?
I thought Sunday was a great game. That was one for the ages, and it showed on the Rick Richter scale. There was a little bit of a mini earthquake when Polanco hit that hit, and it was just euphoric. It felt like a dream. It was unbelievable.
I'm so happy for you that you got to be there. Your pictures were just amazing.
Well, this hour of Seattle's Morning News, sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Coming up this hour, Crime and Punishment, our weekly crime check-in with Casey McNerthney at the King County Prosecutor's Office.
We'll also check in with CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland. We have the return of Israeli hostages and now a ceasefire in Gaza. Jeff with some of his insight coming up.
It's now 6:10. Washington's paid leave program is just 5 years old, and already it's facing a massive deficit.
The Washington State Standard reports it could be short more than $350 million by 2029. That's despite a $200 million bailout last year. The program lets workers take paid time off for health issues or family care, but lawmakers underestimated how popular and expensive it would be. Now the state is hitting its cap on paycheck deductions, and that could freeze funding. Without changes, benefits may shrink or costs could rise.
SeaTac Airport is not showing a video from Homeland Security. The video blames Democrats for the government shutdown. It started airing at airports across the country last Thursday, but the Port of Seattle says it will not play at SeaTac. They say the video is too political. According to the Seattle Times, the port says it wants bipartisan efforts to end the shutdown, and they're working to support federal workers at the airport who are not getting paid. That shutdown started October 1st. Both parties are pointing fingers.
White House Budget Office says mass firings of federal workers have started in an attempt to exert more pressure on Democratic lawmakers as the government shutdown continues. Russ Vought, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, posted on X the Trump administration has started laying off government employees. Washington Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal says these layoffs affects both Democrats and Republicans.
Doesn't seem to care about their own constituents' health or well-being or jobs.
The White House has said the layoffs could hit federal programs whose funding would lapse in a government shutdown is otherwise not funded and not consistent with the president's priorities.
Not only did we have that great Mariners victory last night in Toronto, the Seahawks had a great morning game, too. That was fun. They're now 4-2 after the big win on the road in Jacksonville.
It's 6:12. Let's check in with Nick Allard as we have a weather forecast brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Okay, Nick, we have a couple Mariners games coming up to T-Mobile Park. The roof going to be open or closed for those?
Let's see. Wednesday's the first one. It should be open. And then I think on Thursday we'll probably be open, too. Now, I didn't put anything beyond that on the map because I believe it'll be a sweep. So I refuse to answer anything else beyond that. But I think the first couple, they should be open. This morning we have some pockets of showers around like the Hood Canal south. There really isn't much, but just some areas with some sprinkles, nothing crazy. They're all going to decrease over the next couple of hours, and we'll all see some increasing sunshine. And I think you'll see at least partly to mostly sunny skies by noon, and then just mostly sunny this afternoon with highs getting to about, say, like 57 to 60 or so. Overnight, we might find a few places with some frost, especially in the South Sound. Olympia could get down to like 34 or so. Same thing in Shelton, Chehalis. I think a better bet for frost is probably Wednesday morning. But the idea tomorrow is clear skies during the day and sunshine and low 60s. Sunshine and low 60s for Wednesday as well. I do think by Thursday you see a few more clouds and maybe some drizzle. And then Friday we're probably talking about a few showers around. But Saturday, while it starts dry, it will not end that way. And Saturday night and Sunday both look wet, rainy, wet, soggy, wet, cool.
Nick, Manda and I are both going to ask you.
Did you do a little screaming over the weekend?
No, I just got a cold.
Oh.
I'm just allergic. That, and I think I might be allergic to a new kind of high karate. I tried a new cologne, and it's messing with me. No, I just have a cold. I mean, I have 3 kids under 14, and they're all in school.
That'll do it.
They're just walking snot rags.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah,
all right, Nick. 43 at 6:14.
All right, let's check the roads. We do traffic every 10 minutes around here, and Chris Sullivan is watching things.
And we've got a crash up in the north end that is really causing some trouble. We've got about a 4-mile backup now on southbound I-5 approaching the Mill Creek interchange. That's where the two right lanes are now blocked as you're coming off of the I-5-167 corridor, 164th interchange. So plan on about 50 minutes already from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's a 15-minute delay. The other spot where we're seeing some brake lights, northbound 167 right through Pacific where we had that bridge strike. Good news is a second lane has opened, so the backup is not as bad as it could be. We're running around 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton, which is still behind schedule, but way better than we were. Then 20 minutes from Renton to Bellevue, Olympia to Tacoma, 35 there. Little over 40 now from Federal Way to Seattle with brake lights off and on here and there, but really not too bad. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
6:15. If you missed it over the weekend, some sad news out of Hollywood. Diane Keaton died. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard with details.
Diane Keaton had a huge movie career, rising to fame in the 1970s, winning an Oscar for Best Actress for 1977's Annie Hall opposite Woody Allen.
That's my dad, that's father, and that's my brother Dwayne.
Dwayne?
Yeah, right, Dwayne.
She'd go on to movies like First Wives Club, Father of the Bride, and Something's Gotta Give opposite Jack Nicholson.
I really like you.
I really like you.
Yeah, but I love you like you. I do. I love you.
Keaton never married and had adopted 2 children in her 50s. She was 79 years old.
I was shocked when I saw that over the weekend.
She always seemed just really vibrant. I mean, even, she's 79 years old, really had quite a force behind her.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. 6:16.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
On Mondays, we check in with Casey McNerthy from the King County Prosecutor's Office for our Crime and Punishment segment.
Casey, among the many cases in court this morning, 2 people who are there for illegal gun possession. What can you tell us?
Yeah, the first is a case of a guy who was on Aurora Avenue North, and someone called 911 because they saw him chasing a woman down Aurora, which is usually a bad sign any time of day.
Is this a pimp?
He wasn't arrested for that. It wasn't that kind of investigation. It just seems like an unusual circumstance.
Chasing a woman, Aurora, we know what happens there,
right.
and he's got a gun.
Right. And so the police find him hiding in a Ford Fusion. They arrest him and get a warrant to search the car. They find a 9mm there that he's not supposed to have because of his repeat felony history. That's the kind of case that happens a lot, where SPD will make a stop like that. It understandably rarely makes the news other than this segment, just because it's so routine, but it's hopefully reassuring for folks to know that there's work like that by Seattle police and by King County prosecutors all the time.
So that's on Aurora, in a well-known area for prostitution. There's also a well-known area for drugs, and we're talking about 3rd and Pine, and you have an arrest there.
Yeah, this was a proactive effort by Seattle police. They saw a guy with drug paraphernalia, which under the law would be a misdemeanor that would go to the city attorney's office. They approached him. He runs away. That's an interesting sign if you're a cop. So they stop him. They also find a 9mm. This guy has warrants out of Renton and Issaquah and the Department of Corrections, and so he's now in the King County Jail. It's nice to see Seattle police doing that proactive work. And, of course, King County prosecutors charged him when we got that case. There's still a whole lot to do on Aurora and 3rd and Pine, but, it's important for folks to know that those cases are being charged routinely.
Well, you talk about consistency, and I've been out to both of these locations recently, and there are ebbs and flows, right? So is it to be understood that if Seattle police had the resources to be consistently and on the hourly, on the daily, enforcing the laws as they stand in the state of Washington and the city of Seattle, that your office has the capacity to be making charges and perhaps cleaning up these areas?
Yes, that's the short answer. Absolutely. If we get another 20 cases, we would have another 20 cases charged if there was the evidence to do so. There's also the caveat, too, that we know that there's not case limits for prosecutors like there are for defense attorneys. Those are helpful case limits because it limits people from being burned out. The hard part is when you have a prosecutor who has a ton of cases on their desk, 50, 60. There's one prosecutor who has, more than 130. It's a grind, and you don't want to see those experienced folks leave. That's why we're making the budget request. We'll see how that goes in November. But the short answer is yes. You bring us more cases, we're ready for them.
Casey, there's also a case out of Kent this morning. This is a road rage incident. So what happened?
This was a guy who was on Central Avenue right by East James in Kent. What the other driver said was he was driving aggressively. The guy honked at him, just, in a relatively normal sense. This guy at one point got out of the car, according to police, and flashed a gun that was in his waistband. The other driver, who really thought he was going to die, had a Tesla, and they've got great video on those cars. And so he called Kent Police. They found this guy at the Home Depot there and arrested him, another 9mm with a round in the chamber. And this guy's got a history out of Florida. Wasn't supposed to have a gun. Also a no contact order that said explicitly don't have a gun on a judge's order. But Kent Police doing great work to make that stop. I mean, that certainly would have been a headline if that guy had been killed like he thought he was going to. But as it is, the guy who's accused of pulling the gun is in court tomorrow. And King County prosecutors charged him with unlawful gun possession.
Okay, I want to just get back to this quality of life issue and something interesting that happened at the Sephora store at U Village and the Ulta Beauty on 130th and Aurora. You and your office was able to charge a guy with a felony, not just a misdemeanor. Talk to me about the process here.
Yes, this was a guy who's accused of stealing nearly $7,000 from the Sephora and the Ulta Beauty. Actually, two different Sephoras, the one at U Village and the one near Westlake. This is the case where when you have a guy over and over and over and over doing these misdemeanors, that's where King County prosecutors can go to a judge and say, this is organized retail theft. This is a guy who has been trespassed, and needs to be in jail to stop these thefts because you don't want to see these businesses leave.
All right, Casey, thank you very much for your time. As always, Crime and Punishment on Mondays with Casey McNerthy in the King County Prosecutor's Office.
All right, before we talk about traffic, Sully, you were out and about Friday night for the Mariners' big victory.
Yeah.
Where were you? What did it look like?
We were at there's a little bar in Mill Creek that we go to, a good restaurant and bar called the Northern Pub. We've been there, seen a few games there, and so we got there really, really early, and there were already a lot of people. I was like, wow, this is good. We got there like at 4:30. It's like showing up for Christmas Mass. You got to be there about 40 minutes before first pitch to get a seat.
Yeah.
And so we were there, and it just kept going and going and going.
Did you stay for the full 15?
We stayed for, of course. We couldn't leave. Tommy showed up late, and then I shot a video of the game-winning hit and showed the bar of everyone going nuts. 27,000 views on X of just a bunch of random suburbanites going crazy.
That's all I want to see is Mariners videos right now.
Yeah, and it was funny because I asked Holly, Tommy asked me, how much do you think we spent last night? I was like, it's probably $100. Holly looked at me, he was like, yeah, we basically had another full baseball game of beverages. And I'm like,
you could have gone to the game for that price.
Yeah, looking at that afterwards, I'm like, wow. But yeah,
it was worth it.
Oh, totally worth it. Yeah, it was just everyone hanging on every pitch in just some random bar in Snohomish County. It was awesome.
That's so cool.
So cool.
All right, 6:23 now. Let's maybe talk about traffic. What is it looking like this morning, Sully?
Well, it's looking like a couple of extra innings on southbound I-5 right now, getting through the Snohomish County area from basically the Boeing Freeway down through Mill Creek. The two right lanes are blocked on southbound 5 right there at the merge point at 164th, right as you kind of merge with 405. We have an hour drive already from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. That's about 20 minutes slower than it should be at this time of day. So that's our biggest issue. Certainly, it's about a 5-mile backup, really, all the way to 526. Coming the other direction, Olympia to Tacoma is not too bad at all. 35 minutes there, and Federal Way to Seattle's running just over 45. The northbound 167 corridor, only 50 minutes now from Puyallup to Renton. A second lane has been opened past that bridge strike area there in Pacific, so we should see some vast improvement over what we've been getting. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 25 minutes. We do have one more issue to tell you about. This one's on on westbound 512 as you're approaching I-5 in Lakewood. Looks like the right lane is blocked for this crash right at Steel Street, and we're backing up behind that pretty quickly, so plan on some delay there. This report brought to you by AAA. AAA of Washington. Membership unlocks epic roadside rescues, hundreds of local perks and discounts, travel and insurance expertise, and somehow more. Join today.
Our forecast, you might see a few scattered showers for the morning hours, but sunshine by afternoon, 57 for today. Then we'll dry out Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. Right now, it's a little bit chilly, partly cloudy, and 45 in Seattle.
And remember, the Seahawks are back home next Monday. Today's the last day you can enter to win 4 tickets. Watch the Seahawks game on Monday, the 20th of October. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, simply text app, APP, to 888-973-5476, and we'll send you a link to download.
And coming up, KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey on why SeaTac Airport is not playing a certain message in the terminal.
And the opening bell report. This is Seattle's Morning News.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work.
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah.
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So, I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
It's a fact. When your eyes work correctly, light focuses through both your cornea and your lens to give you high-quality vision. Hi, it's Dr. Kopstein from K2 Vision. Here's another fact. As we near age 50, we begin to lose the quality and function of our natural lens. That's when we start to reach for reading glasses and contemplate those cataracts on the horizon, typically in our 70s or later, but inevitable if we get old enough. Fortunately, K2 Vision has the advanced permanent solution for both, refractive lens exchange, or RLE. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. Plus, another thing is permanent. You will never develop a cataract. After over 20 years replacing over 100,000 failing lenses, we will help you determine when it's your right time for RLE. Go to k2visionrle.com and schedule a free Zoom consultation today. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Permanently.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things will change after October 20th, and some things won't. If you ride without a Good-to-Go account, you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. Having Good-to-Go means it'll cost less than pay by mail. Not a change. Carpoolers will need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. A Good-to-Go pass saves you $2 on every toll. No change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
What if you had the smartest Wi-Fi? If you did, it'd be Xfinity, of course. And it'd come with their best state-of-the-art equipment. It would boost speeds to the devices that needed them most, prioritizing your most important connections, whether you were streaming, gaming, or gaming while pretending to work. And it would let you stream 4. That's right, 4 games on one screen. It would even power your mobile connection so you could bring faster, secure Wi-Fi speeds with you where you use it most. It would be proactive and fix problems before you knew you had them. Impressive, right? And it would have security features that protect you from threats at home and online. Kinda like a force field for your life. If you had the smartest Wi-Fi, well, everything would work together seamlessly to keep you connected, no matter what. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply.
Hey football fans, Steve Rabel here. You know what makes Washington State truly special? It's the people, the everyday champions who serve, care, and connect. This fall, your local credit union, WSECU, is proud to celebrate 4 of these inspiring individuals as part of Washington's Community Champions. Serving Washington since 1957, WSECU is the only credit union named a Forbes Best Credit Union 5 years in a row. Now it's your turn to get in the game. Nominate your hero today at mynorthwest.com/champion.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends. And explore the lively nightlife scene. The dining district at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Hey, how is your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletime.com/subscribe.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:30. A historic day in Israel as the 20 remaining living hostages taken by Hamas 2 years ago have been released.
President Trump has just left Israel, where he met with the families of the hostages and addressed Israel's parliament. He's headed to Egypt for a peace summit. Since the ceasefire began last week, thousands of people have returned to Gaza. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more.
After the Israeli hostage release Monday morning, hundreds of Palestinian prisoners were also released as part of the swap.
When he was asked yesterday, President Trump, he was asked if he'd visit Gaza in the future. He responded that he'd, quote, be proud to.
The end of Game 5 against the Detroit Tigers literally shook T-Mobile Park. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
It registered the same levels as a small earthquake. Harold Tobin with the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network installed a seismometer down at T-Mobile. The signal spiking all throughout the game, but the biggest peak after Jorge Polanco's game-winning, series-clinching walk-off hit.
The biggest one spike we've got on here is kind of a similar value to the biggest spike in the Taylor Swift. Now, Taylor Swift thing just goes on through every song, all through the whole concert.
That seismometer will be at T-Mobile for the next home games. That's Wednesday, Thursday, potentially even Friday if we make it that far.
Have we mentioned Game 2 of the ALCS is today in Toronto after last night's Mariners win? First pitch today, 2:03, and you can hear the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
SeaTac Airport is refusing to show a video from Homeland Security that blames Democrats for the government shutdown. Joining us live with the latest, here's KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey.
Yeah, this video is now a huge point of controversy, fueling that political battle between Democrats and Republicans. Here is part of that video featuring Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
So that's what flyers are going to see partly in different areas of the airport. The video started airing last Thursday in airports across the country. And I say partly because, according to the Seattle Times, the Port of Seattle says it will not play that video at SCA because it's too political. The port is also working to support federal workers, they say, at the airport who are not getting paid during this government shutdown. Here's more of the video.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government. And because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
So you might see how the video is really fueling that pointing of fingers from both parties. The government shutdown is in its 9th day now. The Senate failed to approve a short-term spending bill on Thursday. It was the 7th time a bill failed to pass. The Senate will hold another session this Friday before leaving for the weekend. Spokane Airport and Portland International Airport also say they will not air that video.
Okay, Luke, thanks for the update. 6:33 now.
It's time to check traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. Take it away, Sully.
Got about a 20-minute delay on southbound I-5 as you make your way from Everett down to the Mill Creek interchange and right there at the Linwood split. It's about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The reason for this backup, a crash that's been blocking two right lanes as you get there right before the exit to 405. Looks like it's cleared over to the right shoulder at this point, but either way, the damage is kind of done there. The other big issue we have is on westbound 512 for those of you trying to get from Parkland over to Lakewood over onto I-5. We have this crash there blocking the right lane right at Steele Street, so plan on some delays, probably at least a 10 or 12-minute delay there. The rest of the commute, not terrible. There are some brake lights getting up through Pacific, but that's because of the bridge strike. The good news is a second lane has opened, but it's still seeing some very slow stuff as you're being forced over to the far right side and to the far left side. There's some New Jersey barrier to greet you there in the middle, so watch your speed. It's about 55 minutes from Puyallup up to Renton, so about 15 minutes slower than normal, maybe a little under depending on how you hit the volume. Then you get up to 405 in Renton and it's running 25 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle's under 45, so that's great. The lake bridges are in fine shape. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial 97.3 HD2.
Taking a look at the forecast, we have kind of a mixed week ahead of us with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Today is the day we get some showers. Tomorrow, a high of 61 and sunny, 63 on Wednesday, but Wednesday and Thursday looking cloudy and showery. Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies and 45.
Now 6:35. That's time for the opening bell report. Entering week 3 of the government shutdown, federal workers aren't the only ones feeling the sting. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports on the ripple effect to the public.
Around 750,000 furloughed federal workers are not getting a paycheck. And without money coming in, families are having to cut back on basic things like groceries or even childcare. This impacts people beyond the government as well and has the potential to hurt the economy. And the longer the shutdown drags on, the more the effects will be felt. During the last government shutdown, according to the Congressional Budget Office, the economy lost $11 billion. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
A survey of 40 economics professionals by the National Association for Business Economics reveals concerns about the possible impact of tariffs. Gregory Daco is the chief economist and incoming president of the association. He says the survey shows businesses will soon begin running out of options to avoid passing on the cost of tariffs to consumers and will then increase the cost of their goods.
Top downside risks for the economy are one, tariffs, and two, persistent inflation. So there's still that concern around the trajectory of the economy because of tariffs and because of the risk of more persistent inflation.
Speaking of tariffs on Chinese-made Halloween costumes are creating challenges. We get more on this from CBS News correspondent Stephen Kaufman.
Imported Chinese Halloween costumes hit by tariffs are causing headaches for the costume industry, especially small retailers that don't have the clout needed to absorb costs, while some retailers are pushing back on suppliers.
I just told most of the vendors if they didn't eat the tariffs or the Chinese didn't eat the tariffs, I don't want them, send them back. Well, they sent them and they paid the tariffs.
With 6,000 costumes in stock, Greg Renke of Colorado's Renke Brothers Haunted Mansion says the U.S. market pretty much owns Halloween. Therefore, suppliers need to pay attention.
This is the market, and if we all decide not to pay the tariffs and send it back, the Chinese have a problem.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
3 economists won the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics today. According to the Nobel website, Joël Mokyr, Philippe Aghion, and Peter Howitt explained how technical innovation can drive sustained growth. Here's Hans Ellegren, the Secretary General of the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, announcing the laureates.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel for 2025 to Joël Mokyr, Northwestern University, USA, Philippe Aghion, Collège de France and INSEAD, France, and London School of Economics, UK, and Peter Howitt, Brown University, USA, for having explained innovation-driven economic growth.
Some of last week's Nobel Prize winners are warning the U.S. will suffer if the Trump administration doesn't restore research funding to several universities.
UC Berkeley professor John Clark says he would not have won the Nobel Prize for Physics without the help of federal funding. He says even if President Trump or the next president restores the funding,
it may take a decade to get back to where we were, say, half a year ago.
His fellow UC Berkeley professor Omar Yagi, who won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry, says American scientists need the money to compete with other countries.
Our science is a jewel in the crown of our country, so we cannot allow that to slip.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
And on Wall Street, it looks like the indexes are reacting positively to President Trump's saying yesterday on Truth Social not to worry about China. It will all be fine, in his words. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up now 460 points. S&P 500 is ahead by 75, and the NASDAQ has gained 323.
A word for KIRO 7 News, live starting at 4. It's news that puts you there so you can see for yourself. News that's happening now so you're ready. News that investigates to get you answers. News that's local because where you live matters. Know more, know now on KIRO 7 News at 4, 5, and 6 p.m.
All right, Chris, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're going to take a look at the 20-minute delays getting down out of the Everett area. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
I can't wait till I get a little older.
The John Curley Show.
I get a little bit more hair in my ears.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
And I can be the really crotchety old guy that can say to people in restaurants,
"Why don't you get your kid off the phone?"
You can do that now. No, I'm not there yet. I'm getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch the John Curley Show live on YouTube. Weekdays 3 to 7. And download the KIRO Newsradio app.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at prosculpt.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's prosculpt.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
So what will you have today? Vanilla, chocolate, strawberry?
When it comes to picking ice cream, there are lots of choices, and they all look and sound so good. Choosing a Medicare plan is a lot like that. So many options, all sound good. But if you pick a plan that's not right for you, there can be serious consequences. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Open enrollment season is right around the corner, and you're going to be inundated with advertisements encouraging you to choose this Medicare Advantage plan or that one. Maybe the best choice for you is traditional Medicare. To make an informed decision, you need to do your homework. The Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program has a free Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit to get you started.
This is Insurance Commissioner Patty Kuderer. Our Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit has a checklist of 7 easy steps to help you decide which Medicare plan is right for you.
Order your free toolkit today at insurance.wa.gov. That's insurance.wa.gov. Or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center. Then go get an ice cream.
It's 6:43, and Sully is at the traffic desk.
And we started this morning off with a crash on southbound I-5 right there at the Mill Creek interchange, maybe just a little south of the on-ramp there, but right before 405. Still has the right lane blocked, so plan on some delays there. Still about a 20-minute delay, over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and all of it's really just right there. Once you get through that, it's not too bad the rest of the way on down to either one of those destinations. Looking at westbound 512, struggling for about a 2.5-mile stretch, reaching through Parkland over to I-5. We've been working with a crash in the right lane right at Steele Street. It looks like it's just blocking just over the right-hand lane, not fully blocked yet, or anymore, I should say. So it looks like that's getting a little bit better. Once you get over to I-5, both directions look really good between Tacoma and Olympia. Just really struggling now on northbound I-5 through Pacific. As people get used to the new lane switch there. A second lane is open through Pacific, but our drive from Puyallup to Renton is about 20 minutes slower than it should be. Renton to Bellevue, not quite a half an hour yet. The lake bridges are still quiet. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts at early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more at globalcu.org.
Just a quick update on our situation in Burlington. An update on that ammonia leak at the Scowler facility. Hazmat teams have lifted the shelter-in-place order. Fire crews responded late last night to a chemical odor linked to a refrigeration unit. But again, according to Burlington Police, the all-clear has been given and the roads are back open.
Looking at the forecast today, we can have scattered showers throughout, highs in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, we look for some sunshine, highs in the low 60s, mostly sunny on Wednesday as well. Perfect for afternoon baseball at T-Mobile Park.
Can't wait.
Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 45.
It's 6:45. A California family had a real-life nightmare before Christmas moment. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard is here to explain.
Well, someone stole a 13-foot Jack Skellington right out of a family's front yard.
What's this? I can't believe my eyes. I must be dreaming. Wake up, Jack. This isn't fair. What's this?
So security footage shows a man hauling the massive figure away and strapping it to the roof of his car. Homeowner Avelina Rodriguez says she's heartbroken.
I just loved it so much. Like, it was so fun to put up. It's something that I look forward to every single year for Halloween.
Neighbors are now on the lookout for a very tall skeleton joyride.
We have a lot of decorations out for Halloween pending. That's next weekend they go out, and we do a lot for Christmas. My wife is a crazy wiener dog lady, and literally we have like 12 that go out Christmas time. It's only like 5 wiener dogs for Halloween that are all inflatable in her front yard. Katrina.
Only 5. Okay.
So I'll share pictures.
Okay, great.
It's 6:46 on Seattle's Morning News. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with CBS's Jeff McCausland as we take a look at the ceasefire in Gaza.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Alliance is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at homecomfortalliance.com.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality, trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Hey, it's Lori from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Think insulation is only for the winter? Think again. Upgrading attic insulation is a popular and cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient. It's your secret weapon for staying cool in the summer, slashing utility bills, and boosting your home's air quality while keeping mold at bay. Need an attic overhaul or thinking about new insulation? Look no further. Guardian has your back. Call now and save $299 off attic ceiling and insulation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
6:49 now is the moment people have been waiting for more than 2 years in Israel as the final group of Israeli hostages was released from Hamas. This as last week a deal was struck between Israel and Hamas for a ceasefire on the war in Gaza.
We want to bring in CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland right now. Jeff, President Trump addressed the Israeli parliament this morning for what was basically a victory speech. What did you take from what he said?
Well, the president's speech was really dramatic, and it was not only a moment of joy, as he described it, but also a moment of soaring hope. And I think that's a nice balance at the moment, because currently we have a ceasefire. We do not have a peace agreement. I think that's a very important distinction. There were two previous ceasefires, you may recall. One lasted over 40 days, and in each case, there was great hope that the negotiations that would follow the initial release of some hostages at that time might lead to a more stable and permanent settlement, and both of them broke down. In this case, of course, the conditions are quite different. Now all the hostages that are living have been released, and the remains of those who've sadly passed away are supposed to be released as well over the next day or so. In return, we're going to see about 2,000 Palestinians and Gazans released. And then the hard part becomes, which is negotiations over such issues as disarming Hamas. What is the governing authority of Hamas? Can you get the world community to contribute forces for a stability force? How are we going to rebuild the Gaza Strip? And you can pick a number. You'd like 50 billion, like 100 billion. Pick a number in terms of how much that's going to cost and how long that's going to take. And then, of course, the initial delivery of humanitarian assistance to the beleaguered 2 million plus people still living in the Gaza Strip, and can that be done quickly and effectively? All those things have yet to be met. So again, as the president said, a moment of joy and a moment of soaring hope, but not a peace agreement.
Jeff, I couldn't help but notice it's wheels up on Air Force One. They've just taken off from Israel, headed to Egypt for peace negotiation with world leaders. And what I couldn't help but notice, Jeff, is amongst those world leaders not included is Netanyahu. What should we read into that?
Yeah, Netanyahu's not there, and the Saudis are not there. And so from the standpoint of Hamas, they might say, well, the one thing that we prevented by this particular conflict was, if you think back to 2 years ago, there was some belief, initiated by the Biden administration, I think embraced by the Trump administration, the author of the Abraham Accords, that we were moving toward a point where Israel would make some acknowledgement of a Palestinian state, and in return, there would be a normalization of relations between Israel and the largest Arab state, of course, Saudi Arabia, a dramatic extension of the Abraham Accords, which would not only bring greater stability throughout the entire region, but would further isolate Iran. Well, Hamas in this particular war, I think, has scuppered that possibility for an extended period of time.
What do we know about the Palestinians being held by Israeli troops in Gaza? Are they being freed too?
That is unclear, man. They're going to release about 250 Palestinians who have been held in Israeli prisons for an extended period of time, some of them on life sentences for terrorist attacks that long preceded this conflict. And then they're going to release about 1,500 Gazans that were detained during the war in the Gaza Strip, who have been identified as not necessarily having a direct involvement in the attack 2 years ago. How many other Gazans have been detained? How many others are held by the Israelis? Unclear. And they'll be also released by the Israelis in similar fashion to Hamas, a certain number of Palestinians who have died while in Israeli detention.
And, Jeff, we have about 30 seconds left here, so I'd like to maybe take a step back. How big is this that President Trump was able to help negotiate this deal, and where things stand right now? How big of a deal is this?
Well, I hate to equivocate, but it remains to be seen. For the moment, it's huge. Everybody's happy about the release of the hostages, no question. That changes the whole equation. But we also have to keep in mind that we'd like to see what happens in Israel. Mr. Netanyahu was booed by Israelis when Mr. Witkoff announced that he should gain some of the credit, and Israelis booed. There'll be an election next year. What happens in Israel there politically will be important to consummating a longer-term agreement. And don't forget, this ended up being a regional conflict. Can the Lebanese government disarm Hezbollah, where Israel occupies? Can Syria be stabilized? Israel has forces there. What about the West Bank, where Israel has a large number of forces, and part of this agreement says no annexation of the West Bank? And then more broadly, even though we've destroyed a large portion of the Iranian nuclear facilities, what's the longer-term relations between the United States and Iran and the region in Iran? All those factors are critical if you're going to get to longer-term stability.
All right. A lot of things remain to be seen. Thank you so much for your time, as always, Jeff. CBS military analyst Jeff McCausland.
Let's head over to the traffic desk, where it's been a busy Monday morning, Sully.
Yeah, it definitely is. Continues to be, especially for those coming down out of the Everett area. We've got about a 4.5-mile backup that starts right after the Boeing freeway there. 526 goes all the way down to this crash we have just before the Linwood split. Still over on the right-hand side of the road. We've got about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, and it's a 20-minute delay through that area. The rest of the map, not too bad on this Monday. We've got about 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. Olympia to Tacoma is only running around 35. There's still this crash on westbound 512 at Steel Street as you try to get into Lakewood, still over on the right-hand side. About a couple of miles worth of a backup behind it, at about 10 or 12 minutes there. And we are still seeing heavy brake lights approaching the construction zone, or I should say the bridge strike zone, on northbound 167 in Pacific. It's not as bad as it could be. There is a second lane open. Give yourself about 50 minutes from Puyallup up into Renton. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
And our forecast, maybe a few lingering showers this morning. Otherwise, we'll get back to some sunshine by afternoon. 57 today. Sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. And then we'll see more clouds roll in on Thursday. It's 45 in Seattle right now.
Coming up on Seattle's Morning News, the latest from CBS on the ceasefire in Israel, and also more of the day's top local stories, including a look at today's ALCS Game 2 with Luke Ducey. This is KIRO News Radio.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to k2visionrle.com. k2visionrle.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Every Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Fall is here, school's back in session, and business will soon be booming with the upcoming holiday season. So get ready with help from WaFd Bank. Position your business for success with services like payment processing, so customers can buy through kiosk, mobile, online, contactless, whatever way they want to pay. Plus, get industry-leading security and personalized help from dedicated IT support so you can focus on the important stuff. With so many options, WaFd Bank can make your business goals a reality. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
If your closets are bursting at the seams like the Curly household, it's time to call the pros at Closets by Design Seattle. Every job is completely custom. Free in-home design consultation. Right now, they're offering big savings up to 40% off, plus an additional 15% off with 18 months financing and free installation. You're getting the quality and backing of a national brand, but with friendly local Seattle service. Go to closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to schedule your free in-home design consultation today.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Upgrading attic insulation is a popular and cost-effective way to make your home more energy efficient, slashing utility bills. Call now and save $299 off attic ceiling and ventilation, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. 20 living hostages were returned to Israel this morning. Hamas has announced the names of 4 of the 28 who died in captivity that will be released later today. Israel says almost 2,000 Palestinian prisoners were released and transported back to Gaza. President Trump is headed to a summit in Egypt after a more than hour-long speech to the Israeli Knesset. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
This is the historic dawn of a new Middle East.
The president expressed his gratitude to the prime minister,
whose partnership did so much to make this momentous day possible.
And his message was clear. The war is over.
Israel, with our help, has won all that they can by force of arms. You've won.
He said the state of Israel is now strong.
And it will live and thrive forever.
Celebrations are underway. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
Families held emotional reunions with the freed hostages who were held in Hamas captivity for 2 long years. All over Israel, people celebrated, especially at Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, where a crowd of tens of thousands cheered every time the photo of a freed hostage appeared on the screen.
In the West Bank, Palestinians rejoiced as buses arrived carrying those prisoners from Israel's Ofer, and giant crowds greeted the newly freed arriving at Nasser Hospital in southern Gaza's Khan Yunis. Here in the U.S., it's day 13 of the government shutdown. CBS's Bradley Blackburn says some federal workers are getting paid.
For now, the Pentagon is still paying service members, bridging the gap by using $8 billion in unused research funds to cover this week's paychecks. Air traffic controllers will get their first partial paycheck this week, and then nothing if the shutdown continues.
A powerful storm is slamming the East Coast. Rain and wind is intense from mid-Atlantic states on up into the Northeast. Lewis, Delaware Deputy City Manager Janet Reeves.
They are expecting major coastal flooding. There's a good possibility of evacuation, so we want to make sure that we're prepared for that.
States of emergency in effect in New York and New Jersey. A helicopter came crashing down to the ground near a hotel in Huntington Beach, California over the weekend. CBS's Andres Gutierrez.
The palm trees prevented a direct collision between the helicopter and a pedestrian bridge connecting the hotel and the Pacific Coast Highway.
I thought that thing was going to land. I didn't even have a chance to look up. I was dodging through the parking lot.
5 people hurt, including a child who was pinned underneath the chopper. Bystanders raced to the wreckage to free him. Dow up 486. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
7:03 Monday morning. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we're starting this hour the way we ended the last, with about a 22-minute delay on southbound I-5, trying to get from the Boeing Freeway in South Everett down to the Linwood Split. Crash on the right-hand side continues to cause trouble. It's right there where all the weaving and merging happens from 164th, so that's why we're so stacked up. Hour and 5-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Once you get through that, there's a little heavy braking in Mount Lake Terrace, a little bit in Canyon Park, but manageable. The other spot that's unusually slow is westbound 512, right by Steel Street. We've been working with a crash there in the right-hand lane. It looks like it's just still partially blocking the right-hand lane. The backup there is manageable. Most of Pierce County looks pretty good. Even the brake lights into and through Pacific, because of the bridge strike situation, it's not as bad as you might have anticipated. We're back down to about 50 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. That's because a second lane was reopened over the weekend. Speeds down to 45. Trucks have to use the right-hand lane. Renton to Bellevue running right around 30 minutes, and we're up to 50 now from Everett to from Federal Way to Seattle. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Well, it's 7:04, and the Mariners pitching staff was lights out last night, fueled by a dominant outing from Bryce Miller.
The Mariners took Game 1 of the American League Championship Series over the Blue Jays just 2 nights after that marathon 15-inning win on Friday. Well, now the focus shifts to Game 2 later today.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a preview. Luke?
Like a lot of people out there listening, Friday night's do-or-die Game 5 at T-Mobile Park against the Tigers was absolutely insane. I mean, I'm exhausted. Still, mentally, and I think this is how a lot of us feel right now.
I mean, this is it's crazy.
It is. It's crazy. We're at Game 2 right now. And just like that, Jorge Polanco, who won Game 5 with that walk-off single, he led the Mariners' comeback against Toronto last night.
The 3-2. Swung on, roped into left field, base hit. Julio steams around third base. He's being waved. Julio scores, and the Mariners have the lead. Jorge Polanco.
So we talked earlier about syncing your TV with our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports, to hear the local play-by-play. I'm going to do that, definitely. I'm waiting for you, Charlie, to tell us how to do it.
Okay.
But sometime this morning, you've got to do something.
Producer David, we'll figure out a time to do that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I have now kind of almost mastered that art myself. Which, it's the only way to do it.
It has to do with watching the pitcher and hearing the snap of the ball in the catcher's glove.
It's like in the old Hollywood movies how they would sync up the sound. You wait for that little...
So we'll go over that a little later.
Thank you for doing that, because let's just listen. Here was the national call last night. Give you a little flavor.
3-2. Polanco sent it away.
Pretty exciting, I mean, we're still excited, right? I mean, and then here was Rick Riz.
The 3-2 pitch on the way, swung on, line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single, and the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
It doesn't get better than that, does it?
No, you got to listen to Riz.
Game 2 in Toronto tonight, or today, rather, I should say. First pitch is actually 2:03 today. Games 3, 4, and 5, if we need a Game 5. Don't think we will. They'll be here in Seattle. Plenty of Mariner watch parties out there. I've got a list of restaurants and bars going up on mynorthwest.com. You can check out. Victory Hall across from T-Mobile Park is going to host a watch party today. It's free to get in. Absolutely free. Got a 23-foot big screen TV, a lot of other TVs, food, wine, beer, prize giveaways, including autographed baseballs and jerseys. And Mariner Moose is also going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Luke, thank you. Loved listening to your reporting. I had the past couple days off, Thursday and Friday. I was still glued to what you had to say.
Here we go again. We got a whole week, baby.
Okay.
Go M's.
It's now 7:07. Well, you won't see a shutdown video at SeaTac Airport. The Port of Seattle says it's skipping the Homeland Security message that blames Democrats for the federal shutdown. It started airing at other airports last Thursday, but SeaTac says it's too political for their screens. According to the Seattle Times, the port says it wants both parties to work together to end the shutdown, and it's trying to help federal workers at the airport who are not getting paid.
Meantime, the White House says mass federal worker layoffs have begun as the government shutdown drags on. Budget Director Russ Vought says it's necessary. He posted the news on X. I got some response from Washington Democratic Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal.
Russ Vought is slashing programs and projects through the Department of Energy, including cutting a $1 billion grant for the Pacific Northwest Hydrogen Hub. That's a project that creates over 10,000 jobs and helps build our clean economy.
Jayapal says the move hurts both parties.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
The 2-2 to Cal. Swung on, blasted, right field. This is gonna go. It is gone. Cal Raleigh, oh Canada, a solo home run, and this game is tied. Cal has invaded Canada again, and he has done it. It's a brand new ball game. It's 1-1 in the 6th inning. A monster blast by Cal Raleigh.
Oh, Canada. I hadn't heard that before. Good morning. It's Seattle's Morning News for Monday, October 13th.
I'm just going to keep it on the level with you. I'm going to be real, Manda.
Okay.
I didn't think they were going to win last night.
I didn't either, especially after that 15-inning marathon
I
Friday.
Maybe we keep it close. But here we are. We're up 1-0 in the ALCS.
Beautiful thing.
Sully is here. He's checking the roads for us on the threes, and producer David Burbank is in the studio.
Coming up this hour of the show, CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger with some advice for timing the market, when to buy in and when to sell.
And in today's commentary, I've never done this before, but I actually have an endorsement for Seattle's next mayor.
Oh.
We will have that at 7:35.
Right now it's 7:09. Wild weather in Longview yesterday afternoon. Maybe you got stuck in some thunderstorms around here too, but the National Weather Service says someone reported seeing rotation in the clouds in Longview that could mean a tornado. I won't know for sure until they finish a storm survey. According to the Oregonian, at least 3 buildings have significant damage.
Washington's paid leave program is growing fast and burning through money even faster. According to the Washington State Standard, it could run a $350 million deficit in 4 years. The program launched in 2020 already needed a $200 million bailout last year. It's funded by paycheck deductions, but the state caps how much can be collected. The cap would block the program from keeping up with rising claims and wages. The lawmakers tried to fix the formula earlier this year, but the bill stalled.
Washington State has reached agreement to preserve key portions of a law requiring clergy to report child abuse. The Attorney General's office announced clergy will remain mandatory reporters of child abuse, but prosecutors won't enforce disclosures made solely during confession. The stipulation resolves 2 federal lawsuits filed by religious groups and awaits court approval. AG Nick Brown says the deal protects children while respecting religious freedoms and legislative authority.
Seattle police arrested a 17-year-old boy after a hit and run on the West Seattle Bridge. This happened Saturday night. And with the story, here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Police saw a car speeding across the bridge without headlights on and then saw it hit another car. The 2 people in the car that were struck had minor injuries but will be okay. Meanwhile, the suspect's car crashing into a barrier and 3 people ran away. Police catching them. 2 passengers were taken to the hospital with minor injuries, and the teen driver was given several citations.
What a sports weekend it was. A big win for the Seahawks yesterday, too. Keeps them in line for the lead in the NFC West. Seattle's defensive line stepped up big time in Jacksonville against the Jaguars.
Lawrence from the shotgun has a tight slot right side. Lawrence drops back, gets hit, goes down. It's Chenna as well as D. Lawrence. They hit him as he stepped up in the pocket, and they just knocked the loose change out of his pockets as he goes down at the 25. They are not going to try it on 4th down. At 4th and 19, the Seahawks defense does it again.
Jacksonville quarterback Trevor Lawrence was sacked 7 times. The Seahawks also contained the Jaguars' potent running back to a season-low 59 yards. Seattle defensive tackle Byron Murphy II spoke about the defensive line's performance.
Just everybody being on the same page, communicating with one another, everybody having the same mindset, the same goal, and we just hold ourselves to a certain standard. And also, too, just rushing as one. That's how we were able to get to the quarterback, create negative plays.
Hawks back at Lumen Field to take on the Texans Monday Night Football next week. And by the way, over the weekend, Kraken, Sounders, Huskies all won too.
I got to tell you, this is not me doing like a thing. This is not something being forced upon me to say, but an endorsement for the Seattle Sports app.
Right.
I was on the Olympic Peninsula this weekend, could not get good reception of any of the games. I was watching the Mariners game, and on the drive home, listening to the Seahawks on the app. It was so useful. It worked really well. All right, 7:12 now. Let's check in with Nick Allard. His weather forecast is brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Big sports weekend behind us and a big sports week ahead, Nick.
I know it, and I think we're going to do just fine because I think the games will have an open roof on Wednesday, not a problem there, and more than likely on Thursday as well. When you head out this morning, we're seeing some clearing. It's really beautiful. We had some earlier showers. Most of that now is done, and any place with some remaining showers, we're mostly talking about like south of Shelton, south of Olympia, so I don't think there'll be that much more left. So knowing that, expect to be dry and clear with some beautiful sunshine today and highs that'll get, say, into the low 60s. And now from here, same plan tomorrow, but I think you might also find some frost in the morning, especially south and away from the water, and probably a better bet for that early on Wednesday. So some frost early and then sunshine, low 60s each day. You get more clouds Thursday, but we look dry outside of maybe a few sprinkles or some drizzle. Friday could have a couple of showers to start the day, but your next round of rain, in my opinion, comes in, say, Saturday night to Sunday. That'll be blustery. That'll have snow levels at, say, 5,000 feet. And it'll be a little blustery today as well, because we still have some windy weather around Bellingham and, say, like around Friday Harbor. But the rest of the area, mostly just seeing sunshine and nice conditions in the 60s. But just bundle up, because the next couple mornings will be cool for sure.
Yeah, right now it's 43 in Seattle.
And it's 7:14. Time to check traffic once again every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
Still working with a 20-minute delay on southbound I-5 as you work your way from South Everett down to the Mill Creek interchange. Crash over on the right-hand side in that CD lane there where all the weaving and merging happens. Hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Northbound 167 continues to struggle through the Pacific bridge strike zone. There are 2 lanes available. Just got a picture from a listener. Trucks are not allowed in the left lane through that construction zone, through that bridge strike area. They have to be in the right-hand lane, so let's try to keep that in mind and follow the rules. Rented to Bellevue about a half an hour, 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, and we're not too bad westbound 512 through Steel Street where we had the scene of that earlier crash. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, and more. ClosetsByDesign.com or 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Stocks keep climbing to new highs, and that has a lot of investors wondering, is this the time to jump in or time to cash out?
CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger is with us. How do you answer that question, Jill?
I say what I always say. I don't know. The reality is nobody knows. And it's very difficult that you want to believe that there is some sort of mathematical equation that will lead you to the best conclusion. But there isn't. And investing, it is a little bit mathematical, but it's also very emotional. And so as human beings, what will happen is as we see new highs in the stock market, or gold breaks out above 4,000, or crypto's at new highs, and it makes you feel like you're missing something if you don't own those things, or that you should be doing something slightly different to be part of that whole wave. And the answer is we probably know one thing and only one thing. Over the long term, investors will generally do just fine if they stick to their game plan and they don't take a big bet one way or the other. That they stick to a game plan and they don't alter that game plan unless something happens in their own lives as opposed to something happening in the markets.
So on the JillOnMoney.com blog, you mentioned that even the worst timer of the market, there's a study here that says they did better than someone who sat on the sidelines. Could you maybe dig into that?
Yeah, I thought this was fascinating. It was an interesting study from Charles Schwab. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to kind of address this idea that someone who is putting money into the market every year, like a couple $1,000s every year over the 20-year time horizon, any time 20-year time horizon. And they were like, well, what happens with a person who basically buys the bottom of the market every single time? And then what goes on with the person who's waiting in cash for the best time to invest? And the long and short of it is that anyone who can consistently invest at the bottom of the market every single year is obviously obviously going to do better, but they don't do that much better than the one who just says, every year on the first trading day of the year, I put my $2,000 to work. It literally is like $700 per year over 20 years. But the person who waits for the bottom misses out and is the worst investor. So what's the takeaway from this? The takeaway is stop trying to guess where the top and the bottom is going to be. Pick some sort of investment structure that allows you to put money away on an ongoing basis. That's why I think 401ks work really well, because they force us. Money comes out of your paycheck, goes into the retirement account, and it's not as if we don't have times where we're like, ooh, I wish I didn't buy at this moment, which ended up being the top part of the market. But it also forces you to put money in when you maybe wouldn't want to put money in at the bottom. So I think that's why consistently putting money away as early as possible is really the best strategy.
Jill, also in your blog, you mentioned the difference between being a seasoned investor and a tenderized one. Can you explain a bit more?
People say use this term seasoned investors. And I was like, well, seasoning's like you spread a little salt or something over a piece of meat. Tenderized, you know what that is. That's where you take that wooden mallet and smash the blank out of that piece of meat and, you make it thin, right? That's what investing over time does. You have to get beaten up a little bit so that you are maybe learning on an ongoing basis that the heavy force of markets will absolutely be much bigger than whatever you think is going to happen, that you cannot accurately identify when the best time to get in or out of a market comes, because it's A, not proven, no one can do it, and B, it's not necessary. So that's why I say I'm a tenderized investor.
There is someone listening right now who thinks this is all gambling by putting money in the stock market, and what they're going to do instead is just put it in a savings account and sleep well at night. What do you have to say to them, Jill?
Okay, so if that's you and you have $10 gazillion and it doesn't matter whether you lose money every year, then I think that's fine. If you choose that, if you've got so much money, I once heard somebody who's like a financial talking head, and this person's like, well, I only invest in like treasuries. I'm like, oh, how lucky for you. You have so much money that it does not matter. However, for the rest of us, what we're trying to do is grow our money faster than the rate of inflation. And keeping your money in cash will not do that. So remember, if you keep your money in cash, if it's inside of a retirement account, chances are you're never going to beat the rate of inflation over time. If it's outside of a retirement account, you're really going to be a double loser, because you'll pay income tax on the interest that you earn, and you won't beat inflation. So it's a very bad bet. But again, if you have gazillions of dollars and that's what you choose to do, that's fine.
Jill, Fidelity found that a lot of do-it-yourself investors think they're going to outperform the market. How often is that true?
I think it sometimes is like lucky when that happens. So it doesn't happen that often. What we know is that people think that they can beat the market when they have beaten the market when markets have gone up. But they very rarely will admit to you that when they have done something terrible, which is they have actually very much lagged the market. I can pull out reams of data that show from lots of different houses, like the Fidelities, like the Vanguards, like the Schwabs, where they study and they say, why is it that many do-it-yourselfers who are basically investing in the stock market don't do as well as the stock market? Right? If you say, I own an index fund, why am I not, I should have the exact same return as the fund, right? And the answer is because people believe they know when to get in and out. And so either the amount, they're doing too much trading, or they are trying to pick the tops and the bottoms. But I love that basically these folks, when they were surveyed, they said, the market's going to perform worse in the next 12 months, but I'm going to do better. God bless you. What optimism.
And Jill, if I'm driving down the road right now and I'm listening to this lady on the radio, I'm going to my second job, I don't have savings. I cannot even afford that extra cup of coffee every day. What do you want them to know with everything being so dang expensive in this world? They don't have the money to save.
Yeah. You know what? They've probably already turned off the radio by now, and I'm sorry for that. I think that what I have learned over time is that people who are struggling will often take one sliver of their financial life and try to make an improvement with it. And that sliver may be, you know what, for every single week I am just going to track where my money goes. And I'm going to see if there's anything available to put aside. If there is really nothing, then there's nothing to do. I don't think that it's fair of someone like me to come out and say, like, just do your best and stop feeding your family. Doesn't make sense. But when we look at a lot of long-term studies, what there is evidence of is that when people are saying, I live paycheck to paycheck, a lot of those people, they are not living paycheck to paycheck per se. They're living paycheck to paycheck after they've done some sort of saving. So yes, there's certainly people who are like, I cannot do anything, for sure. And again, for those people, I am not going to preach. Just do the best you can. But for other folks, if you can scrounge up $20 and you can figure out a way to throw that into a savings account or have that automatically directed onto a credit card balance, then do it.
Jill, thank you very much for sharing what you refer to as your consistent, boring advice. Create a plan and stick with it, right?
That's it, man.
All right. CBS business analyst Jill Schlesinger, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
7:23 now, and Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And we are working with a relatively decent drive for this Monday. There are a couple of spots that are a little heavier than normal, one of them being southbound I-5 as you work your way from the Boeing Freeway down through the Mill Creek exit. We've been dealing with a crash there all morning long, right there at where you weave and merge and decide whether you're going to get off at 164th or keep going down to 405. We got about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, so still about 20 minutes slower than you might expect. Once you get through that, it's really not too bad down the I-5 corridor. 405 also has some heavy brake lights through the Canyon Park area, so for you guys, probably about an hour and 15 to get you down into Seattle, to Bellevue, so not exactly a great drive. 35 minutes now from Renton to Bellevue as we see brake lights off and on up past 44th and really kind of extending up through Coal Creek Parkway. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, it's not too bad out of Auburn. There are some brake lights through Pacific. Again, we do have a second lane open through that Bridge Strike corridor. Speed limit down to 45 miles an hour. Trucks must use the right lane. It's a weight issue thing based on where that girder was damaged. So please don't drive in the left-hand lane like I've seen several of you this morning. Olympia to Tacoma is running 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, about 50. Heaviest part of that drive getting up past the West Seattle Bridge into downtown. Lake bridges are quiet. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to Closets by Design or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Any lingering showers are moving out. We're going to see sunshine by afternoon, 57 for today, and then mostly sunny tomorrow and Wednesday with highs in the low 60s. Right now it's 44 in Seattle.
Coming up, we'll have the latest on President Trump's trip to the Middle East, and in today's commentary, I will tell you, Seattle's next mayor should be hard-hitting. That commentary coming up at 7:35.
That sensation we're all feeling right now?
It's the playoffs, man.
That's playoff fever.
They're good. They're going to win at home, and then we all won.
Yes. They're the talk of the town.
So excited I can hardly stand it.
KIRO Newsradio has all the Mariners buzz.
Some of us even ate dirt. Some of us try to sway the outcome.
And our partner Seattle Sports has the games.
A winning solution. Hearing Rick call
You're gonna want to hear
home
Rick.
run.
You talk about a no-doubter.
Listen free on the Seattle Sports app.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
You're busy, and you need a bank that won't slow you down now that the leaves are falling, school is back, and the holidays are almost here. Well, WaFd Bank is here for you with free business checking. With truly free business checking, you get just what you need and skip the rest. Get access to business online banking with bill pay, mobile deposit, signer and non-signer debit cards, and more. You'll also have the option to upgrade your account with treasury management services as your business grows, including payment processing, HR and payroll, cash flow management, accounting automation, point-of-sale inventory systems, and anything else you need to step things up. Take your business to the next level with WaFd Bank, and you'll find bankers with the knowledge and services to meet your business goals. Plus, get 24-hour customer service for help when you need it. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com to open your account today and find out why they were awarded Best Bank by Newsweek 3 years in a row. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
If your commercial building is over 20,000 square feet, Washington's Clean Buildings Law not only probably applies to you, but goes into effect as soon as July of 2026. Puget Sound Energy's free Clean Buildings Accelerator is here to help. You'll get step-by-step guidance, easy energy tracking tools, ready-to-use plan templates, and a year of ongoing support. It's a simple way to save energy and lower costs. Sign up at pse.com/clean buildings.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Out at the Wilcox family farm, our hens roam freely on fresh green pasture. But that means predators like coyotes and eagles are always nearby. That's where our team of Great Pyrenees help out. These gentle giants were born to protect, and they become a part of our family. Raised alongside the chickens from puppyhood. Our hens are raised humanely, our practices are organic, and our promise is simple. Fresh eggs straight from our farm to your table. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it is 7:31. President Trump tells Israeli lawmakers they must work toward peace after 2 years of war against Hamas, as well as conflict with Hezbollah and Iran.
The last 20 living hostages have been returned home after being released by Hamas. Speaking to the Israeli Knesset, the president saying that Israel has won all they can by force of arms. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports from Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, where the president has just landed for a peace summit.
He urged the Israeli parliament members to translate what has happened into peace. He said, "You've won. It is time now to enjoy the fruits of your labor." An acknowledgement that it is the next phase that is going to be so difficult and where there will be so many obstacles.
President Trump was asked yesterday if he'd visit Gaza in the future, and he responded that he'd, quote, be proud to.
SeaTac Airport is refusing to show a video from Homeland Security that blames Democrats for the government shutdown. This video is fueling an ongoing political battle between Democrats and Republicans.
And joining us now is KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey with a closer look.
All right, so let's play you part of that video featuring Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
The video started airing last Thursday in airports across the country. According to the Seattle Times, the Port of Seattle says it will not play the video at SeaTac because it's too political.
Democrats in Congress refuse to fund the federal government. And because of this, many of our operations are impacted, and most of our TSA employees are working without pay.
Well, the port is also working to support federal workers at the airport who are not getting paid. The government shutdown is now into its 9th day. The Senate failed to approve a short-term spending bill on Thursday for the 7th time. The Senate will then hold another session on Friday before leaving for the weekend. Spokane Airport and Portland International Airport have also said they will not air that Homeland Security video.
Okay, Luke, thank you. 7:33 now, and we head over to the traffic desk with Chris Sullivan.
Looks like they're making some steady work on southbound I-5 right there at the Mill Creek interchange there through all the weaving and merging. Where we've been working with a crash that for a while had 2 of those right lanes blocked, then 1. It looks like it might be now entirely over to the shoulder. All in all, about an hour and 5-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. That's about 15 to 20 minutes slower than you probably expected. The backup extends all the way to the Boeing Freeway. There's also the normal stuff through Linwood, and then certainly for 405 down through Canyon Park. Looking at northbound I-5, Olympia to Tacoma, nice and easy, no problems for you guys. Then we have a Federal Way to Seattle drive of about 52, 53 minutes, 35 of those minutes from South Center. Those last couple of miles are going to be pretty heavy. Rented to Bellevue, a little over 30 minutes now. Brake lights extend up through Coal Creek Parkway, then a little bit more into the south end of Bellevue. There is some spillover onto the Valley Freeway. Not too bad as you get through the construction zone through that bridge strike area in Pacific. We have 2 lanes available now, one on the far right, one on the far left, about 50 minutes from Puyallup up into Renton. The lake bridges are good. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Best place to watch your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there, emeraldqueen.com.
And our forecast, a few lingering showers this morning, but they are on their way out. We're going to see sunshine by afternoon and 57 today. Tomorrow and Wednesday look great too. Sunny, mostly sunny Wednesday. Highs will be in the low 60s. Getting chilly overnight. Overnight lows around 40. Right now in Seattle, it's partly cloudy and 44.
This is the city's longest running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO News Radio.
7:35. Seattle could use a mayor who knows how to call the shots. It's time for today's commentary. I don't endorse candidates for a political office. I tend to find the best in most politicians I talk to and talk about because it takes a lot to put yourself out there in the public arena. But then over the weekend, I got to thinking about arenas, the biggest arenas, the best arenas, and who knows arenas better, or stadiums in this awkward metaphor, than Cal Raleigh. After all, he's the one literally calling the shots, every pitch, every play, the brain behind the mask. He knows what it takes to win when it feels like the whole city is about to lose its mind. And that's why I am turning my back on that whole not endorsing thing. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry, Katie. I know you're the actual candidates for mayor of Seattle, but I am officially endorsing Cal Raleigh for mayor of Seattle. He'll protect home plate. He'll lift the city on his shoulders and bring us all to victory. A vote for Cal Raleigh is a home run for civic pride. And yes, I know some of you are thinking you're just jumping on the big dumper bandwagon. Yes, I am. Because if anyone can clean up this town, it's the big dumper. Now, I realize he has no desire to be mayor, and frankly, it would probably be bad, really bad, for the Mariners if he took the job. But I can't help but think he'd make the good calls, the tough calls, like knowing when it's time to pull a pitcher or a department head. So how about this? Cal could do both. He could be mayor in his spare time, call the balls and strikes in city policy, then make the lineup card. Okay, let's talk logistics. When he's off on a road trip or catching a 99-mile-an-hour fastball somewhere in Texas, the Moose could run things. The Moose doesn't travel. It's all warm and fuzzy for ribbon cuttings and can't possibly make things worse, right? And if that's somehow unconstitutional, all of us in Seattle could just promise to be real cool until Mayor Cal gets back. I know this whole mayor idea has no chance of happening, but neither did that 15-inning miracle on Friday night. So if the Mariners can pull that off, maybe Seattle can too. Maybe with Cal Raleigh at the helm, we can get through our extra innings as a city together, one exhausted but hopeful fan base at a time. So let's get the bumper stickers ready. Here are some campaign motto suggestions for Cal Raleigh. Finally, a mayor who can handle the heat. No errors, no excuses, no graffiti on I-5. Make Seattle safe at home. Big dumper, bigger dreams. Because at this point, if anyone deserves to call the shots around here, it's the guy who's been calling them from behind the plate all season long. Oh, and next time, I'll give you my full endorsement of Jorge Polanco for city attorney. That is the commentary for October 13th, 2025. Tell me what you think. Text us at 888-973-5476 or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com. By the way, Manda, Sully.
Yeah. A couple of endorsements I can get behind, by the way.
Yeah, like half an hour ago when I said I was going to be endorsing somebody for mayor, the looks in your eyes, like they all just got really big.
Do that.
Charlie, you're not going to endorse someone, but we can get behind Cal.
Oh, without question.
Sure, why not? How about some words from the real mayor? Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell has declared the entire month of October the month of Mariners. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
It comes on the 30th anniversary of the team's first playoff appearance in franchise history. And here's an official look at the ALCS calendar. Those first two games in Toronto, 1 down, 1 to go. And then the Mariners heading back to Seattle for games 3 through 5. Keep in mind, though, this is a best-of-7 series, so games 5, 6, and 7 are conditional.
Yes, they are. First pitch today in Toronto, 2:08. You can hear all the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
Okay, Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to look at the backup, which is getting a lot better now on southbound I-5 getting out of Everett. We'll break it down for you next.
That sensation we're all feeling right now?
It's the playoffs, man.
That's playoff fever.
They're good. They're going to win at home, and then we all won.
Yes. They're the talk of the town.
So excited I can hardly stand it.
KIRO Newsradio has all the Mariners buzz.
Some of us even ate dirt to try to sway the outcome.
And our partner Seattle Sports has the games.
A winning solution. Hearing Rick call
You're gonna wanna hear
home
Rick.
run.
You talk about a no-doubter.
Listen free on the Seattle Sports app.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Ooh, hey, remember those yodelers who met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart. You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
7:43, and Chris Sullivan has an eye on the roads for us.
And for a Monday, we're not in that bad of shape. The heaviest drive most of this morning has been southbound I-5 as you work your way past the Boeing Freeway area, down past the Mill Creek interchange where we've had an accident. Now that it's off entirely to the right shoulder, that backup is getting much better. However, and a lot more people are now south of Linwood, and that means the travel time is still about the same. We've got about an hour and 5-minute trip still from Everett to Bellevue, about an hour from Everett to Seattle. It's a little heavier on 405 than I-5. Northbound I-5 is struggling past the West Seattle Bridge, but before that, from Federal Way on up, not too bad. I mean, it's only 35 minutes from South Center and 52 all the way from Federal Way, which is great. Valley Freeway, not too bad either through the Pacific area where we have that bridge strike issue. Second lane is now open through the area, 50 minutes or less, probably 45 now to go from Puyallup to Renton. That's a really good drive. Renton to Bellevue, 35 minutes. The Lake Bridges are still in good shape. Olympia to Tacoma's not looking too bad. Still a little action on westbound 512 getting over to Steel Street there at I-5 because of a long-term crash we've been dealing with. And it looks like there might be some construction work at this point closing off the ramps from 16 to I-5. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing there, but definitely seeing some backups in the area. This report brought to you by AAA of Washington. The all-new Everyday membership gives you discounts and perks at more than 900 local businesses, all for just $25 a year. Join today.
We're going to see lots of sunshine by afternoon, headed for a high of 57. It's starting to get chilly overnight. Lows around 40 the next couple of nights. Or tomorrow and Wednesday, sunshine and highs in the low 60s. Right now it's 44 in Seattle.
Amanda, I think sometimes Katrina just writes these things because she knows how I'm going to feel when the words come out of my mouth. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Thanks a lot, Katrina. It's time to prepare for the most anticipated masquerade ball of the season. Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
You did it beautifully.
Thank you.
Netflix confirmed that the 4th season of Bridgerton will be hitting the streaming service in 2 parts next year. Fans were treated to a sneak peek at the upcoming season in this trailer.
We must ask ourselves, do we rise to the occasion? As always, time and this author will tell.
Now, who knows who this is? The voice.
Is that Bridgerton?
Yes.
And by King County prosecutors all the time.
So that's on Aurora in a well-known area for prostitution. There's also a well-known area for drugs, and we're talking about 3rd and Pine. And you have an arrest there.
Yeah. This was a proactive effort by Seattle police. They saw a guy with drug paraphernalia, which under the law would be a misdemeanor that would go to the city attorney's office. They approached him. He runs away. That's an interesting sign if you're a cop. So they stop him. They also find a 9mm. This guy has warrants out of Renton and Issaquah and the Department of Corrections. And so he's now in the King County Jail. It's nice to see Seattle police doing that proactive work. And, of course, King County prosecutors charged him when we got that case. There's still a whole lot to do on Aurora and 3rd and Pine, but it's important for folks to know that those cases are being charged routinely.
Well, you talk about consistency, and I've been out to both of these locations recently, and there are ebbs and flows, right? So is it to be understood that if Seattle police had the resources to be consistently and on the hourly, on the daily, enforcing the laws as they stand in the state of Washington and the city of Seattle, that your office has the capacity to be making charges and perhaps cleaning up these areas?
Yes, that's the short answer. Absolutely. If we get another 20 cases, we would have another 20 cases charged if there was the evidence to do so. There's also the caveat, too, that we know that there's not case limits for prosecutors like there are for defense attorneys. Those are helpful case limits because it limits people from being burned out. The hard part is when you have a prosecutor who has a ton of cases on their desk, 50, 60. There's one prosecutor who has, more than 130. It's a grind, and you don't want to see those experienced folks leave. That's why we're making the budget request. We'll see how that goes in November. But the short answer is yes. You bring us more cases, we're ready for them.
Casey, there's also a case out of Kent this morning. This is a road rage incident. So what happened?
This was a guy who was on Central Avenue right by East James in Kent. What the other driver said was he was driving aggressively. The guy honked at him, just, in a relatively normal sense. This guy at one point got out of the car, according to police, and flashed a gun that was in his waistband. The other driver, who really thought he was going to die, had a Tesla, and they've got great video on those cars. And so he called Kent Police. They found this guy at the Home Depot there and arrested him, another 9mm with a round in the chamber. And this guy's got a history out of Florida. Wasn't supposed to have a gun. Also a no contact order that said explicitly don't have a gun on a judge's order. But Kent Police doing great work to make that stop. I mean, that certainly would have been a headline if that guy had been killed like he thought he was going to. But as it is, the guy who's accused of pulling the gun is in court tomorrow. And King County prosecutors charged him with unlawful gun possession.
All right, Casey, thank you very much for your time. As always, Crime and Punishment on Mondays with Casey McNerthy in the King County Prosecutor's Office.
7:53 now on Seattle's Morning News, and we go over to the traffic desk with Sully.
Not too bad out there. We're actually doing all right. I know that it's a holiday for some today, and so some state and city employees are probably not at the office today. One of the reasons why we're a little lighter out of the north end. We're still struggling a little bit down between the Boeing Freeway down through the Linwood area where we had an earlier crash, and then the normal stuff from Linwood down south has us at about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. And
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
Even on a Monday, we're looking at $15 in the southbound 405 corridor down out of the Linwood area. Northbound 167 has not as bad as it could be. We have a second lane open through the site of that bridge strike there in Pacific. There is a right lane open and a far left lane open. A lot of Jersey barrier in the middle. The backup hasn't been too bad today. 50 minutes, maybe a little under, to go from Puyallup to Renton. Left lane is for cars. Right lane is where the trucks need to be. You don't want to be in the left lane if you're a truck. Speed limit down to 45 as well. Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes. The Valley Freeway just gave you Olympia to Tacoma's at 35 minutes. A little over 50 from Federal Way to Seattle. The brake lights there right at past the West Seattle Bridge. 35 minutes from South Center. And it looks like it's the ramp to Sprague that's closed on from 16 there, coming away from southbound and northbound I-5. So plan on a little bit of delay getting away from the downtown core if you're heading to 16. This traffic report is brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. You can learn more, globalcu.org.
After yesterday's wild weather day, we're just going to see some lingering showers this morning, drying out, sunny by afternoon, and a high today of 57. Sunshine for tomorrow and Wednesday, and highs in the low 60s. It's 44 right now.
Coming up, Congressman Adam Smith will stop by the studio. Government shutdown, National Guard troops in U.S. cities, a ceasefire in Gaza, a lot to ask him. We will have Congressman Smith on at 8:15.
This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Let's go! You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonihan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing. When it's time to get that roof replaced, choose Guardian with our expert insured team and our Guardian Guarantee. Call now and get 1 year of maintenance free with the installation of a new roof, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
Wellness. How do you practice it easily every day? At Olympic Hot Tub, we have more ways to achieve total wellness at home than ever before. Immerse yourself and let jets melt stress away in a saltwater hot spring spa. Swim in the privacy of your own backyard in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to cozy warmth and detox in an amazing Tilo sauna. Then awaken your mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Better you, better life.
Too many breakup songs getting you down? Put a little bossa nova in the playlist. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Get a good-to-go pass to save $2 every time you use it, and on other toll roads in Washington.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan.
The long and painful nightmare is finally over.
President Trump in Israel as Hamas releases all 20 living hostages and Israel frees 1,900 prisoners, ending 2 years of war in Gaza. CBS's Tony DeCopel is in Jerusalem.
Former hostages finally back in the arms of their loved ones. And there is also rejoicing among the Palestinians. Buses with prisoners and detainees swapped for Israeli hostages rolled into Ramallah, and inside Gaza, that devastated area, this part of the world, Israeli troops have pulled back, and aid trucks have been pulling in, filled with food and with medicine.
CBS's Nancy Cordes is in Egypt. President Trump has just arrived there.
Dozens of world leaders have flown here to Sharm el-Sheikh. They are ready to get to work with President Trump, hammering out the finer details of this peace plan, because there is still a lot of disagreement. Case in point, as President Trump was giving that well-received speech to the Knesset, there was an opposition leader who stood up, started shouting, was holding a sign that said, "Recognize Palestine."
NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte hopes the next place for peace is Ukraine.
Of course, we also hope that this will help us in Europe to bring also peace about after this terrible war of aggression by Russia against Ukraine, which is still ongoing. Let's hope we can build on this momentum.
It's day 13 of the government shutdown. Vice President Vance has warned of deeper and painful cuts. The White House has indicated some 4,000 federal workers are being fired. House Speaker Mike Johnson this morning.
This marks the third week that Democrats have blocked paychecks to our troops. They blocked pay for 2.2 million federal workers, and they held critical services that the American people rely upon in limbo.
On the weather map, a storm system has been bashing much of the East Coast with wind and rain. CBS's Jim Crisula.
Coastal flood, rough surf, and high wind advisories are posted from the Carolinas to Maine. Lisa Conti lives at Broadkill Beach, Delaware.
I'm hoping it doesn't take a whole lot of our beach. That's my main concern.
Louisa Montgomery is on Sullivan's Island, South Carolina.
I've never seen this awful erosion. This is so scary. I would not want a big beach house for all the tea in China.
The storm dumped nearly 10 inches of rain in parts of South Carolina.
Flash flooding has caused damage in parts of the Southwest. Hundreds who live in southern Colorado were told to leave their homes because of rising water. Checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 436 points. The NASDAQ is up 320. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
It's 8:03, and Chris Sullivan is watching traffic for us.
And it is a pretty decent Monday out there across the board. There are heavy brake lights here and there. Coming down from the Everett area is not going to be great. There's still some brake lights there approaching the Mill Creek interchange. Looks like they may have reblocked the right lane of those merging lanes there getting to 405. That's where we've had a long-term crash all morning long. It's about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. It's not bad through Mount Lake Terrace, and then across the U District, across the Ship Canal Bridge is relatively normal. 405 has the brake lights through Canyon Park, nothing out of line there. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive running about an hour now with 35 to 40 of those minutes from South Center. Those last couple of miles are going to be pretty heavy past the Michigan curb and the West Seattle Bridge. 405 northbound, not too bad, 35 minutes for you guys. We have a second lane open now past the scene of that bridge strike on northbound 167. Still have a little bit of braking right around that, but overall 45 minutes from Puyallup to Renton is great. And in Tacoma, you're wondering why it's so slow, southbound I-5 there past the Dome and getting onto 16. Looks like we have the off-ramp to Sprague blocked, and that's why there's a little extra traffic there in that area. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
8:04 on the Monday, October 13th, 2025 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Well, the Mariners pitching staff was nearly untouchable last night, led by big Tex Bryce Miller's dominant start.
Now all eyes turn to Game 2 against the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League Championship Series later today.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with a preview.
Yeah, Game 2 is in Toronto today, I should say. First pitch, 2:03 in the afternoon. Mariners with a one-game lead in the best-of-7 game series, and we've got all the watch party information for you coming up. But first, how are we all feeling today? Friday's game was one of those, where were you? Yeah. But how are you feeling?
Doesn't even feel real.
No.
And it strikes me, you started Friday morning at the ballpark at, 4:30?
Yeah.
And you were there until the bitter end Friday night.
You know, as my wife put it, this is kind of emotionally hungover after that game. I mean, and I think a lot of people feel the same way.
I mean, this is it's crazy.
That's the only word. It's crazy. It was Jorge Polanco who won Game 5 with a walk-off single God, just made it happen, all the magic. A lot of our staff went to the game. Nick was there. Aaron Granillo watched from the stands as well behind the plate. His wife shot video of him. I've got his reaction. I'm going to play that for you. Bottom of the fifth, bases loaded. Here's Aaron watching the 3-2 pitch from Polanco. By the way, he's here in the newsroom. He's listening to this. There's the hit. And listen to this. Here he is. That's him. Just kind of screaming. If you watch the video, it's all he can. I'll put it on social media too. He just
does he have a voice this morning?
No, he doesn't. I did. He doesn't. But being there in the stadium, I was working at the time, but I watched the last innings with the crowd. We were losing the momentum in those final innings. The adrenaline was wearing off. Again, that emotional hangover until the 15th, and there was a
second salmon run. As we get set for the bottom of the 15th. That's how long this game is gone.
I'm telling you, it was the salmon race that they put on every game, if you don't know, that really brought the crowd back in, because Humpy is one of the salmon that runs every race and never, ever wins. And here's how the crowd reacted, because this was the first time that Humpy ever won, and it made the crowd just go electric. Oh, my gosh. Fireworks, people went crazy. Even the dugout watched. The players were cheering. Humpy made an appearance at the Kraken game Saturday, and the Kraken won. Watch party to go to today is at Victory Hall across from T-Mobile Park. They're going to host it. Admission is free. They've got food, wine, beer. They got huge screen TVs. They got prize giveaways. Mariner Moose is going to be there, and also Humpy will be
folk superhero.
What a game! What a game! Emotionally hungover, but. We've got game 2 today. It's going to be a heck of a game.
Here's what we're going to do, Luke. At 8:35, we're going to talk about how to sync up your device with the TV so you can listen to Rick and Gary do the play-by-play, but also watch the game happen. We'll talk about how to do that at 8:35.
It's the only way to watch the game. Love it. I cannot wait.
Okay. Thank you, Luke. It's 8:07 now on Seattle's Morning News.
The city of Everett may be about to expand its stay-out-of-drug area zones. Since 2007, Everett has made it illegal for anyone convicted of drug crimes to enter designated keep-out zones, areas of suspected drug activity. The Everett Herald reports a new zone could be established between 36th and Pacific Avenue, just south of downtown. In the last 2 years, there have been 37 suspected overdoses and 66 drug-related deaths there. The City Council will vote on the expansion October 22nd.
Got really stormy in the Seattle area yesterday afternoon, but it was strong winds in Longview, and the National Weather Service says it might have been a tornado. A meteorologist in Portland says someone spotted rotation in the clouds. Happened at 3:13 in the afternoon. According to the Oregonian, 3 buildings in Longview were significantly damaged. Crews will now need to do an official storm survey to know if it was a tornado or not.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Andres leans in, really bends to the waist, the stretch, and the 0-2 on the way to Kirk, swinging a fly ball. Shallow left center field. JP going out, calling for it. Randy coming in, and Randy is there to make the catch. The Mariners win it 3-1, and they take the opening game of this best-of-7 American League Championship Series north of the border here at Rogers Center in Toronto.
I'm not saying I want to ruin Thanksgiving festivities for the Blue Jays in Toronto today.
However,
maybe let's ruin their Thanksgiving festivities in Toronto today.
This doesn't even feel real, does it?
It doesn't. This is feeling like a really strong team.
Yeah. This is Seattle's Morning News. It's Monday, October 13th, as we get ready for Game 2 of the ALCS.
That is coming up later this afternoon. Coming up on this hour of the show, we'll have Congressman Adam Smith, who's going to join us live in studio talking about a ceasefire in Gaza, the shutdown on Capitol Hill. A lot to talk about with him.
It's now 8:10. Washington's paid leave program is just 5 years old and already facing a massive deficit. The Washington State Standard reports it could be short more than $350 million by 2029. That's despite a $200 million bailout last year. The program lets workers take paid time off for health issues or family care, but lawmakers underestimated how popular and expensive it would be. Now the state's hitting its cap on paycheck deductions, and that could freeze funding. Without changes, benefits may shrink or costs could rise.
A violent fight broke out inside the Thurston County Jail over the weekend. The sheriff says it started when one inmate put another into a chokehold, refused to let go. Corrections deputies jumped in to stop it, but the inmate fought back. One deputy had their knee twisted under the inmate's body weight. A sergeant chipped a tooth during the struggle. The inmate was originally booked for domestic violence. Now they face a new charge, assaulting a corrections officer. They'll be moved to an isolated cell once they're cleared from the hospital.
2 men showed up at Harborview with gunshot wounds yesterday afternoon. Seattle police say their car had bullet damage and pulled up about 4:30. One man was shot in the hand and is stable. The other was hit multiple times and now in critical condition. A third person in the car took off before officers arrived. Police later found the shooting scene in Soto near 6th Avenue South and South Spokane Street. Detectives are still investigating what led to that violence.
Well, we've been talking about the big Mariners' wins over the weekend, but the Kraken, the Sounders, the Huskies all won over the weekend too. And the Seahawks, well, they improved to 4-2 after a big win on the road in Jacksonville against the Jaguars.
Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly. JSN is out there. JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks! A spike in the end zone and a 61-yard rocket to number 11. JSN puts 6 more on the board for the Hawks.
Jackson Smith-Njigba is now the leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yards. They beat the Jags yesterday 20-12. They play Monday Night Football against the Texans. That is coming up Monday, October 20th, 7 p.m.
You can't say enough about Sam Darnold. Oh, my goodness.
He looked good, and JSN looked great.
I was screaming JSN all morning long. It was fabulous. It's 8:12. Time for a check on the weather now. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Mainly clear skies to start the day. We could run into a few more sprinkles farther south, but I really don't think we're going to have much more. So just look for sunshine, look for highs that'll top out today in the low 60s overnight. Could be a little frosty into tomorrow morning. Same thing Wednesday morning, but both days in the low to mid 60s with sun. Now by Thursday, you do get some more clouds and you might run into maybe a few sprinkles here and there, but I think both days we'll have the roof open for the Mariners game. And then Friday, we're looking at scattered showers in the morning with another system coming in later Saturday. So you kind of find a few showers Friday, not much during the day Saturday. Saturday night, some rain comes through, and then you see rain on Sunday and snow levels back near 5,000 feet. So a cool weekend with temps in the 50s.
Right now in Seattle, we have partly cloudy skies. It's 44.
At 8:13, let's go to Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And once again, we have a second crash in the same spot that we are dealing with earlier. Southbound I-5, right there at the Mill Creek-Linwood interchange there with 405. This time a crash in the right lane and the right center lane. So with the backup is going all the way back up to 128th again. So just as we cleared that one crash, the second one in the same spot shows right back up. And we're back up over an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. So behind schedule by about 20 minutes on this Monday morning. Looking at the rest of the drive, not terrible. The good news is that we opened a second lane on northbound 167 right through that Pacific Bridge Strike area. And the backup there is way better than you may have anticipated as you walked out the door. 45 minutes or less from Puyallup to Renton today. It's really not too bad there. And then Renton to Bellevue is about 40 minutes, kind of an average day up 405. Northbound I-5 looking really good through Federal Way up to about the middle of Boeing Field, and then you hit the brakes there all the way past the West Seattle Bridge and up to I-90. You need about 52 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, with 35 of those minutes from South Center. Lake bridges are still in pretty good shape, just a little bit of slowing at the merge on either side, and it looks like we're still working with this construction. Not sure exactly what they're doing at this point, but they have closed the ramp from westbound 16 to Sprague down there in Tacoma, and that's actually causing a backup on southbound I-5 right there by the Dome. So a little unexpected, but you'll get through it okay. This report brought to you by Closets by Design, custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to Closets by Design, or you can always call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN.
Seattle's morning news, always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Celebrations and relief in Israel as the final group of Israeli hostages has been released from Hamas. This comes as last week a deal was struck between Israel and Hamas for a ceasefire on the war in Gaza.
Meanwhile, the U.S. government is in its 13th day of a shutdown now. Lots to ask Washington U.S. Congressman Adam Smith, who is with us live in the studio. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Let's start with Gaza. President Trump early this morning addressed the Israeli parliament. It was basically a victory speech. What do you make of what was said?
Well, it's a huge positive development, obviously, ending the war in Gaza and getting the hostages home. You saw the images this morning of the hostages being reunited with their families, an incredibly emotional moment. And it's been a long, devastating war. So getting it over with is a huge positive. It should have happened a lot sooner than it did. And of course, the next key question is what comes next? Is this sustainable? And there are a number of key factors that are going to help guide that.
And briefly, what are some of the factors that you're considering when you say that?
Well, number one, the overarching issue is there has to be a future built for the Palestinian people, which means there needs to be an alternative governing structure to Hamas. But for that to happen, number one, President Trump and the U.S. has to stay engaged and keep the pressure on all parties. Number two, Prime Minister Netanyahu has to do what he has not done for the last 15 years, and that is support an alternative to Hamas. Give the Palestinian people some hope of self-governance and some sort of path forward to economic opportunity. Netanyahu has been undermining all alternatives to Hamas for the last 15 years because he doesn't want a Palestinian state. That's going to have to change. And the Arab partners in the region are really going to have to live up to what they've said they were going to do. They have to engage both with their money and with their security apparatus and just with their commitment. So all of those people can't just celebrate the peace that happened. They got to go to work over the course of at least the next year or two to try to put in place something that is sustainable.
Do we believe Hamas will hold up its end of the deal?
That would be the fourth part of it, is got to keep Hamas down and out. They are badly weakened, both in terms of their leadership and weapons, but also in terms of their standing with the Palestinian people. This war happened because of Hamas, and the people in Palestine know that. Obviously, and I believe that Israel prosecuted the war much longer than they should have, but it was primarily driven by Hamas's actions that has brought absolute devastation to the Palestinian people. Hamas is at a very low point. They have to be kept down and out.
You are no fan of the president, but does he deserve credit for coming to this deal, at least so far?
He does. Now, not as much as he's going to take, without question. But certainly, I mean, he chose to engage. Now, there was a ceasefire when he became president back in January in place that he allowed to lapse and basically gave Netanyahu an open-ended, do whatever you want approach. So I wish he had engaged sooner, number one. And number two, certainly it was easier at this point to get an end to the war after Hamas, Hezbollah, and Iran had been so weakened than it was, say, a year ago. But President Trump chose to engage, and he chose to put pressure on Prime Minister Netanyahu to get to peace. And look, I'm still not a fan of his presidency for 1,000 different reasons, but certainly his engagement with Israel and all of the partners in the region was really important in getting to this very important moment.
We're talking with Congressman Adam Smith this morning, who is live with us in the studio. The president said he is ready to deal with Iran. Is that a good idea?
I think so, yes, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that I do agree with President Trump internationally is he's willing to engage with anyone. Now, I don't always like the way he engages. I mean, for instance, you can engage with Putin without rolling out the red carpet for him and giving him a blank check. But we need to be able to speak with people who we disagree with. Now, Thomas Friedman had a really good column this weekend saying, if only President Trump would use that approach domestically, okay, as opposed to treating anyone who disagrees with him as an enemy to be buried and ignored. I mean, if, for instance, he would engage with Democrats in Congress right now, we'd get to a much better place on governing. So I wish he had the same attitude about his adversaries here at home. But internationally, I think this notion that if we disagree with someone, we should just not talk to them and try to create as much conflict as possible is dangerous and wrong. We should engage and talk and try to see if we can resolve our differences.
Speaking of domestically and needing to resolve differences, let's talk about the government shutdown. You are a Democrat. Where do things stand from where you see it?
I think we're in a bad spot because Speaker Johnson has basically decided to dissolve the United States House of Representatives. I've never seen this before. We've had shutdowns before. Every shutdown I've ever been in, we've stayed in session, number one. And number two, we've aggressively negotiated with all parties involved to try to resolve it. Speaker Johnson, following Donald Trump's lead, has said basically, no, we don't need to talk to Democrats. They have to accept what we're telling them to accept. And the problem with that is to pass this particular budget piece, the appropriations piece or a continuing resolution, they need Democratic votes. They need at least 7 Democratic votes in the Senate. So to say, no, we're not going to negotiate with you. You have to accept the Republican budget. I mean, that is a very dangerous and completely incorrect approach. Democrats are not going to vote for a pure Donald Trump Republican budget because he's put together the most extreme partisan budget that I've ever seen. You know, massive cuts to healthcare, massive cuts to food security, massive increases to ICE and the Department of Defense, massive tax cuts for the wealthy that's going to drive millions of people off of health insurance and drive up the cost of healthcare. And also he's driving up the cost of energy by canceling programs, energy programs, clean energy programs all across the country, and basically saying, I will cut programs from Democratic states and fund Republican states, and you Democrats have to vote for it. Well, we don't have to vote for it.
One of the things we're talking about this morning is Homeland Security wanting airports across the country to run this message that features Kristi Noem saying that the shutdown is all Democrats' fault, basically. Just curious your thoughts.
Well, my thought is, and this is the overwhelming problem we have, I mean, Trump is attempting an authoritarian takeover of our government. I mean, it's just unbelievable that you would have the government, our government, engaging in such partisan activity. The president basically is governing like he is a dictator, not like he is a democratically elected president of a constitutional republic.
How do you step back and take the politics out of it, or is that even possible anymore?
Yeah, sorry. There is no aspect of life that the politics are taken out of. All right. I like it when people say that. But, you know, imagine in your own family, in your own workplace, politics is sort of how we figure out how to get along with each other. I mean, if we all just said, no, we're just going to go for what we want and we're not going to politically think about what the people around us want, well, that wouldn't work very well. No, I mean, politics is simply a way you resolve your differences peacefully. So I think we have to engage in politics, have a conversation. Okay, you want this, I want that, how to resolve that. But when we've got a president who is treating the United States government as his own personal source of power, that makes it very, very difficult to get to a just result.
I want to talk about the Republican calls for a clean continuing resolution in order to fund the government as budget negotiations happen. Back in 2018, when there was another shutdown, you were one of the most prominent voices out there saying we need a CR because this is going to affect federal employees. Contractors with the federal government are not going to get paid. 2023, you also voted for a CR saying it is not a good thing for the government to shut down. What has changed now?
Everything. I mean, this is not a clean CR. This is a continuation of Donald Trump's budget. In all of those previous instances that you talked about, the budget that we were continuing was by and large a bipartisan budget. Now, certainly there were things in it I liked, things in it I didn't like, but we had previously passed a budget that was a reasonable consensus between all parties involved. What we have now is a budget that is Donald Trump and the Republican Party trying to jam their priorities down the throat of this country. And I don't agree with those priorities, and I've just laid them out. I mean, you're asking us to continue a budget that is going to knock millions of people off of healthcare, drive up the cost of healthcare with deep cuts in the Affordable Care Act, deep cuts in Medicaid. It's going to deny food assistance to millions of people. And okay, you say, well, gosh, we got a deficit, we got a debt, we got to deal with that. Except that the Republican budget adds $4 trillion to the debt by prioritizing ICE, which is more than adequately funded, by the way, prioritizing defense, and prioritizing massive tax cuts for the wealthy. So the difference is the budget that the Republicans have jammed through since Donald Trump became president is the most extreme partisan budget ever. Now, if they want to do that, if they want to say, look, these are our priorities, we won the election, we got the votes, we're doing it, great. But now they reach this point on October 1st where they need Democratic votes to extend their partisan extreme budget. And we're supposed to stand up for that? And I didn't even get into what Trump is doing with the government. Using the Justice Department to specifically target his adversaries, using agencies like the FCC to try and silence people in the media who dare criticize him, using, again, the Justice Department to shut down law firms and universities that say anything critical of him or advance. This is the most partisan, extreme budget and extreme government in the world. And Mike Johnson and Donald Trump are saying, doesn't matter, you have to vote for it, Well, so that is how it's different. And it could not possibly be more different than those previous instances.
All right. Congressman Adam Smith, never afraid to share his opinion with us. And by the way, Congressman Smith came into the studio for Seattle's Morning News.
Yes.
You notice he just did it from his house when he was on CNN this morning.
I know, we're more important, clearly.
Yeah.
And sorry, I can't go without saying go Mariners.
I was going to say, how are you feeling about game two?
I was at the game Friday,
epic.
and I was getting active minutes on my Fitbit just sitting there. So very stressful experience, but it's really great to see them doing so well.
Congressman, thank you. Sully is at the traffic desk.
And we've got a big problem up in the Mill Creek area. We've got not only the exit lanes and on-ramp lanes blocked there at 164th, but we also have the right lane blocked, and we backed up to about 4 miles already, and another 20-minute delay. You've got about an hour and 15 minutes now from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. The rest of the map looks relatively normal, except for the slowing we have in Tacoma, southbound I-5, because of the exit ramp to 16 at Sprague is closed. So we'll have more for you in 10 minutes. This report brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Tired of uneven heating and home high energy bills? Check out homecomfortalliance.com.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Corporate megastores are spending millions lobbying D.C. politicians on one-sided policies that send small businesses tumbling. They want to enact harmful credit card mandates that take resources away from your local credit union and community bank, leaving Main Street businesses with less access to credit, making it harder for your family to pay for everyday goods like gas and groceries. Tell Congress to guard your card and oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card mandates.
Paid for by Electronic Payments Coalition.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next-day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Take your business to the next level in 2025 with help from WaFd Bank. WaFd Bank's business accounts and cash flow tools get you paid in hours, not weeks, so you can grow your business and meet your goals. You need a best bank. Visit wafdbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey 12's Steve Rabel here for Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. For men 40 and older, a simple PSA blood test can help intercept prostate cancer early. You can get the simple test before the Crucial Catch game October 20th at Ticketmaster Tailgate.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
SeaTac Airport is refusing to show a video from Homeland Security that blames Democrats for the government shutdown.
The video is fueling an ongoing political battle between Democrats and Republicans, and KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, let's play part of that video for you, featuring Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
We will continue to do all that we can to avoid delays that will impact your travel. And our hope is that Democrats will soon recognize the importance of opening the government.
So again, that's just part of this video that started airing last Thursday in airports across the country. According to the Seattle Times, the Port of Seattle says it will not play the video at SeaTac because it's too political. Well, just a moment ago, Amanda, you asked Congressman Adam Smith his thoughts on playing that video. Here's what he said.
It's just unbelievable that you would have the government, our government, engaging in such partisan activity. The president basically is governing like he is a dictator, not like he is a democratically elected president of a constitutional republic.
On the other side, of course, Republicans have blamed Democrats for holding the Senate hostage, for refusing to vote to keep the government running so they can figure out a more permanent deal. And that is what has led to tactics like this Homeland Security video. Many Americans agree with the administration on this issue. The government shutdown is now in its 9th day. The Senate failed to approve a short-term spending bill on Thursday. Again, this was the 7th time that a bill like that has failed. The Senate will hold another session on Friday before leaving for the weekend. And by the way, Spokane Airport and Portland International Airport also have said they will not air that Homeland Security video.
Okay, Luke, thank you. And you stay right there because you've been asking this morning about how we sync up the radio feed with the Mariners television broadcast. I will go into how we're going to do that for watching the game this afternoon at 2. So you've been talking about it. I want to give you an explanation. Maybe we'll talk about your experience at the game Friday night.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll do that after we check traffic with Sully.
It starts by turning on your radio.
You could do it
Is there
that
anything
way.
more than that? Okay, looking at the drive now, we are reopening the lanes on southbound I-5 right there at the Mill Creek interchange for our second crash of the morning. Everything's moving over to the right-hand shoulder at this point. We had the whole kind of the ramp closed to I-5 southbound, and then the right general purpose lane were blocked. So now they're reopening that, but we're up to an hour and 10 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. For a Monday, that's about a 20-minute delay as you work your way through. Now to the issue in the southbound I-5 trying to get to westbound 16 in Tacoma. We continue to struggle with this construction work that's going on. You can't get off at Sprague, and we are seeing a pretty heavy backup on southbound I-5 there from the Dome through the area. Plan on an extra 10 minutes. Other than that, most of Pierce County's fine, even through the construction zone through that bridge strike. 45 minutes from Puyallup to Renton. Renton to Bellevue's only 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle is about 55 minutes, and we do have a crash on westbound 520 right at I-5 blocking the left-hand lane, so that's why we're backed up out of Montlake. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Best place to watch your favorite sports, featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there. EmeraldQueen.com.
Any showers you're seeing are going to move on. We will see sunshine by afternoon, 57 for today. Tomorrow and Wednesday, mostly sunny, highs in the low 60s. It looks like Thursday will be dry, but clouding up in a high of 60. Overnight lows around 40. Right now in Seattle, partly sunny and 45.
Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, what a game from the Mariners last night. Listen to Bryce Miller.
Another 2-2 for Miller. Swing and a miss. He got him, put him away with a nasty slider buried in the dirt. He strikes out Springer to retire the side in order. That is 14 of the last 15 Blue Jays hitters sat down by Bryce Miller.
He used 7 pitchers Friday night, Dan Wilson did. It was a 15-minute inning marathon over Detroit in the ALDS. All sorts of pitchers were used in that battle. And Mariners manager Dan Wilson was blown away with last night's performance.
The job that Bryce Miller did tonight was phenomenal. You know, you knew the bullpen was ready to bail him out at any time, but, you know, it just kept coming out, and he kept throwing the ball so well. And you know, to give us 6 strong innings, especially coming out of that first inning, and you know, the ability that he had tonight to kind of close the door was phenomenal. And then the bullpen, you know, took it from there.
So here we go. Game 2 of the American League Championship Series this afternoon. First pitch 2:03. Tall right-hander Logan Gilbert, a.k.a. Walter, will take the mound.
And we've been talking about how much better it is to watch these games. Yeah, sure, have it on your TV, but also have the local play-by-play guys doing it. Yeah. Not easy to do, but I've figured out a couple workarounds.
You have the secret.
Okay, now, if you only have a radio and you only have a TV that doesn't have pause or anything like that, that's going to be a little difficult to sync the two up. They're just timing differences. However, Luke, you were asking earlier how I do it. So the easiest way I have found is downloading the Seattle Sports app. This is not an endorsement, but I'm not being told to say this.
Step number 1.
This is like the easiest thing to do because you can hit play and pause on the app. Now, the sound tends to be a little ahead of what you see on TV. So what I have found myself doing is syncing up the first pitch of the game. The great thing about the radio broadcast is they've got the field microphone there, and so you can hear every time the ball hits the catcher's mitt. So if you sync it up, even on the first pitch, I have paused the TV, and then on the Seattle Sports app, as it catches up to, here comes the first pitch, and I know to hit play at the very same time on the TV. Now, I have done this in a couple different settings. One is I'm just streaming over the Bluetooth on my home stereo system and then have the TV. But I also was in a situation over the weekend where I just used the Alexa. I have like one of those little Alexa devices. I played the Alexa right in my living room and have the TV up. It works great.
Yeah.
You can hear Rick Riz do the play-by-play.
And again, if you're listening over the terrestrial radio, which is the way that I like to listen, I like the old-fashioned radio, doesn't exactly work. That is coming at you as fast as possible if you are listening on the AM dial. But unfortunately, that's coming way before the TV
Get yourself
broadcast.
the app, baby. It
Get
works.
the app. And I will say, in terms of watching on the television, it is easier if you use one of those streamers, a Fubo or something.
Yeah.
Just in terms of pausing it and being able to play it. I notice if you're using DirecTV or whatever the cable packages are, oftentimes the play and pause take a second for it to kind of register it.
Okay.
That's just what I found. Obviously, Charlie, what you did worked well for you. But
both the Seattle Sports app, it has a play and pause on that as well. So
right, you can
go back
mess
and
with
forth.
it a little bit. Yeah,
Just be willing to annoy your wife for the first pitch or two.
And if you have a teenager in the house, just ask them for help to do it.
Can you help me with this? Who's what?
Oh, I'm totally doing this. I didn't know why. I have great memories as a kid growing up in the Washington D.C. area as a kid. Watching, it was the Redskins back then, Commanders, and Sam Huff and Sonny Jurgensen and Frank Herzog and the play-by-play. We would turn it on the radio instead of listening to it on the TV, but we couldn't push pause.
Yeah,
but now we can.
Now we're all set for first pitch at 2:03 this afternoon.
So excited! All right, Sully, we know you don't have a DVR, but
that is true.
You'll be able to figure it out. We know.
No, I continue to listen to the great broadcast on Fox, where they hate the Mariners. And it's fun to see them eat the crow every time they say something stupid, which has been a lot. Coming up in traffic, we're going to take a look at the slowing on southbound I-5 getting into the Mill Creek area coming up next.
You know that cartoon of the three-eyed fish swimming in polluted water next to a nuclear power plant?
Yeah, classic.
I used to think that was real, but I just learned that nuclear energy waste isn't some glowing green goo. It's actually used fuel rods from nuclear reactors that made electricity.
Wait, so no barrels of leaking sludge?
No, solid used fuel rods are safely stored at all the nuclear power plants in the U.S., including the one in Richland.
So the cartoon fish isn't real?
Not even close. Learn the facts about nuclear energy and used fuel at energy-northwest.com.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. You know what's stressful? A leaky roof, because you typically don't find out it's leaking until water makes its way through the insulation. The drywall in your ceiling starts swelling up, sags and drips. Then you're freaked out, wondering if there's mold in your house. I get it. That's why I get Valentine Roofing. Valentine has a leak stop guarantee. They'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. Because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes. And they start protecting yours the moment you call. No stress, no mess, no more buckets in your living room. The wet weather is coming, so if you need to take advantage of that free roof inspection, I encourage you to call and get the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, extra mile service, and every new roof backed by a lifetime warranty. And now with zero down financing for most projects, you can get the work done now and pay over time. Stop the leaks before they start. Call 206 Roofing and get your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Makita knows that pros never settle, and neither do we. With Makita, you get tools that perform at the highest level on every job without compromise. Makita is for the most detailed pros, expertly engineered to deliver precision, job after job. When your work calls for the best, call on Makita. Makita, built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
8:43 now. Chris Sullivan has the traffic.
And we are finally starting to see some improvement on southbound I-5 after our second crash of the morning, right there at the Mill Creek interchange. It's still going to be really heavy from about 112th down through the scene, but they are in the process of clearing all the lanes to the right shoulder. It was right there through the on-ramp the off-ramp from 164th and the on-ramp to 405. So still have some extra time there, probably about 8 minutes worth of extra slowing. Give yourself about an hour and 10-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, which at this time on a Monday is probably about 20 minutes slower than you might have expected. Big trouble in the Tacoma area for those of you trying to get to westbound 16 and off at Sprague. It looks like that off-ramp remains closed as they're doing some repair work, and southbound I-5 is really jammed up from before the Dome all the way as people get in that right-hand lane. If you're going to 167 and if you're going to 16 and you're an HOV, make sure you're in that far left lane, and you might save yourself a couple of minutes there in that backup. Rest of the map, not too bad. I mean, the Valley Freeway looks really good. Just a little bit of yellow right there at the Pacific Bridge strike. We have a second lane open there this morning after some weekend construction work, so that's great. Speed limit only 45 miles an hour, but we're under 45 minutes total from Puyallup to Renton, so that's really positive. Renton to Bellevue, about 40 minutes. The Federal Way to Seattle Drive, about 52 minutes now. 35 minutes from South Center. Lake bridges are good, though westbound 520 continues to struggle through Montlake. We had an earlier crash right at I-5. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Pretty decent week weather-wise. We'll see sunshine by afternoon today if you're not already seeing sun. 57. For tomorrow and Wednesday, sunshine and into the low 60s. Overnight lows around 40 the next couple of nights. Thursday will be down to 60 for a high. Right now in Seattle, it's partly sunny at 45.
All right, 8:45, a funny TV moment a lot of parents can relate to. Here's Katrina.
All right, guys. So in the middle of the Mariners-Tiger pregame show last week, Fox Sports MLB analyst and New York Yankees legend Derek Jeter got an unexpected phone call interrupting the broadcast. Listen to this.
Each hitter, each pitch, each out. Sorry, it's a rain delay. Doctor appointment. Parent-teacher conference that I'm going to miss. So sorry, guys. You can take it on the air. I might take it. Take the call, man. But we were. That's a true story. Derek has a parent-teacher conference to go to, so we're going to take a break.
So it's to be determined if he actually made it to that call for the parent-teacher conference. But have you guys ever been interrupted on air?
Well, I get texts all show long from the kids. So, yeah, absolutely. What about you?
Checking in on my kids, seeing how it's going, the chaos of getting them together.
Yeah. Thank you, Katrina. 8:46 now. You know what? This was a good weekend for sports, man.
You think?
Really good weekend.
Still recovering.
Yeah. We have some highlights from all the great stuff that happened. We'll relive it after this on Seattle's Morning News.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, the original Make Your Roof Last company. Remember, your roof isn't just a roof. It's a shield guarding your loved ones and belongings. When replacement time rolls around, trust is key. That's why Guardian's crew isn't just skilled. They're licensed, vetted, and fully insured. And with our Guardian Guarantee, we promise your roof's done right the first time. Call now and get 1 year of maintenance free with the installation of a new roof, or visit us at guardianroofing.com.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees in transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart, get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
If you have Medicaid and are new to Medicare, you may qualify to enroll in a Humana Medicare Advantage dual-eligible special needs plan with a lot more benefits, like dental, vision, and hearing, along with helpful support when you need it most. Now is the time to see if you qualify to enroll. It only takes a few minutes to find out if you're eligible. Our licensed sales agents are ready to help you understand your options. So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual-eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
I'm so excited for the game today.
Well, as Nick said via text to us last night, this may have very well been the best weekend in Seattle sports history.
I'm going to agree with that. Let's take a little listen to some of the best moments from the weekend, at least the Mariners and Seahawks games.
Well, here we go. Just moments away. The Mariners about to take the field behind George Kirby. Kirby against Skubal. The Mariners have beaten Skubal 3 times this year. Can they make it number 4?
And the 2-2 on the way to Garber. Swinging a fly ball. Right center field. Meadows on the run to the warning track. He's there to make the catch. Tagging at third. The amazing Josh Naylor. And the Mariners lead 1-0.
The 0-1. Swung on. Ripped. Left field. Base hit. Polanco around third base. He's being waved. Here he comes. He's going to score. This game is tied. Leo Rivas.
The 3-2 pitch on the way. Swung on, line drive, base hit right field. Jorge Polanco with a walk-off single. And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. The Mariners win it 3-2.
What a game. Took so long. Holy
The Seahawks have been one of the best in the league over the years at these early starts. 11-1 in the last 12 road games dating back to 2023. Darnold has time. Gonna let it fly. JSN is out there. JSN has it. Touchdown! Seahawks! A spike in the end zone and a 61-yard rocket to number 11. JSN puts 6 more on the board for the Hawks. Darnold out of the shotgun. Blitz coming. Time to throw. Back corner. Ball is caught. Touchdown! Seahawks! Cooper Kupp makes the catch, sliding front corner of the end zone from 11 yards out. And with 1:57 left and no timeouts, the Seahawks can run this clock down and get out of here with a win.
We are ready to go with Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Only 4 teams are left in the major leagues. The Mariners and the Blue Jays and the Brewers and the Dodgers over in the National League. And here we go. Kevin Gausman has completed his warm-up tosses. Randy Arozarena to lead things off. Game 1.
The 2-2 to Cal. Swung on, blasted, right field. This is gonna go. It is gone. Cal Raleigh, oh Canada, a solo home run, and this game is tied.
Another 2-2 for Miller. Swing and a miss. He got him, put him away with a nasty slider buried in the dirt. He strikes out Springer to retire the side in order. That is 14 of the last 15 Blue Jays hitters sat down by Bryce Miller.
The 3-2. Swung on, roped into left field, base hit. Julio steams around third base. He's being waved. Julio scores, and the Mariners have the lead. Jorge Polanco.
Andres leans in, really bends to the waist, the stretch, and the 0-2 on the way to Kirk, swinging a fly ball. Shallow left center field. JP going out, calling for it. Randy coming in, and Randy is there to make the catch. The Mariners win it 3-1, and they take the opening game of this best-of-7 American League Championship Series north of the border here at Rogers Center in Toronto.
Oh, my goodness.
And that is why you want to sync up the local play-by-play with the TV feed.
We've been talking about Rick Riz and the baseball guys, but you got to listen to Rabes, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was
and that's
so
right
fun.
here on 97.3 KIRO as well.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for putting that together, producer David. Let's check in with Sully now at the traffic desk.
And for counterpoint from Fox Sports, they're really tired. They're not really going to show up here. If they can't maintain the energy, really don't think they're. Oh, Cal hits a ball out.
Chris,
there.
you have a traffic report.
Oh, it's out.
Please.
Oh, yeah, he might be good. Who? Cal? What? What's his name?
How's traffic? TikTok.
Yeah, I'm trying. It's frustrating. We're doing much better out of the north end, especially. Now that we've cleared the second crash of the morning, right there at the Mill Creek interchange. It's not too bad till you get all the way down to about the U District. It's about a 55-minute trip from Everett to Seattle, about 55 as well from Everett to Bellevue. There are brake lights through the Bothell area. Northbound I-5 is back down to 45 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle, with 30 of those minutes from South Center. 35 from Renton to Bellevue. Northbound 167 still doing really well, even through the bridge strike area, under 45 minutes. Bigger issue down in Pierce County is the heavy slowing on southbound I-5 approaching Highway 16 there. It looks like the exit to Sprague remains closed, and we've got about a 10-minute delay through the area. This report brought to you by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest, featuring viewing screens, kiosks, and more. Be there, emeraldqueen.com.
Sunshine for all by afternoon. 57 our high today, into the low 60s with mostly sunny skies tomorrow and Wednesday. It's 45 right now.
And remember, you can win tickets to the Seahawks game Monday the 20th. All you need to do is get the KIRO Newsradio app and click Win. This is KIRO News Radio.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
Cold leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Lori here from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. I'm here with good news. Guardian has flexible financing options. With Guardian's acclaimed services, you can upgrade or repair your roof, gutters, and insulation. Call to hear about our flexible financing options or visit guardianroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, KIRO FM and HD1.